right in the middle of what's going on here. People get hurt badly in some of these things. In fact, a lot of times the fight is until somebody has drawn blood. It's starting to get there. They're getting more technical, they're pushing harder, they're hitting harder. I better get back in there.
I'm Stroud. I'm in Africa on a mission to seek out the true masters of survival. Some of the last indigenous people on Earth.
Before they're gone. Before the past is lost. Before their world vanishes. I can learn their ways.
Cradled against the Indian Ocean on the southeast banks of South Africa lies the province of KwaZulu-Natal, known as the Place of Heaven. It's the homeland of the Zulu nation. Africa. My search for understanding cultural and physical survival always brings me back to Africa. Here in the cradle of civilization, it's said that there is knowledge that leads to spiritual and human enlightenment. I'm here to meet with the Zulu nation so that they can share with me their ways. I want to see if their hold on their traditions is futile, if their survival methods are all but forgotten, or if they'll endure past the homogenization of the planet's cultures. I'm here to catch just a small glimpse of what has kept the Zulu going for thousands of years. I'll take part in the Zulu practice of scarification. Experience their unique Zulu wedding ceremony, and fight in the classic stick-fighting battle. The Zulu nation has much to offer as they exist on the knife edge between modern assimilation and their traditional land skills and beliefs.
So all these men have gathered here now because we're going to head out down into that valley that you can see down there for the hunt. We've got about 20 dogs or so, maybe 20 men, and they're eager to go.
One man offers himself up as mock prey so that the men enter the hunt with the proper respect and intentions toward the potential game.
We've got a trail we can walk, so far anyway. Through the thick of it, dogs will run in through the bushes. If this is like dog hunting in other places, what'll probably happen here is the dogs actually come up with something, they'll just start freaking out and we'll hear that barking, dogs whining when they know they're on something. A situation like this could happen early, could take hours. You could spend a couple of days doing it before you get any action. Or you could have action within the first 10 minutes. This is fairly decent, clear and easy walking so far. But this is serious black mamba territory here.
And in an open field, a black mamba snake can outrun or outslither a man on a short distance easily.
You can see the open field and the men here spread out. We're all sort of just walking along, see what we can flush out. The dogs get into the deep, dark spots. Now, it seems like a lot of fun. Everybody's gung-ho. We're all into this. But the reality is, some of the dangers here are deadly serious. Puff adders, spitting cobras, and the ridiculously aggressive and deadly black mamba. This is thick mamba territory, especially when we get into the bigger rocks. So I and all of they have to keep a real sharp eye out. I asked them why they were all wearing rubber boots, and he said snakes. So that's serious stuff. Not only snakes, but can also just stumble into a rotted punky log and end up putting a hand into a scorpion or something. And lastly, there's leopards in these hills too. Now, I don't think with this many people that, well, I don't really know. I don't know how a leopard would react. But if you're doing the run and you're a few hundred yards from the next guy, you stir one up, it's not going to be a good situation, that's for sure. They do have leopards here that have taken children and taken dogs and taken small goats and so on, so not such an easy hunt after all. Me? I'm just worried about stirring up a hornet nest. I can deal with the snakes and spiders. Oh, I forgot to mention, the big black ants that shoot acid. That's right, they said watch out for the ants that shoot acid. Okay, I'll do that. This is obviously not stealth hunting. They're all talking pretty loud. This is push hunting. We go in deep and we scare out anything that'll be worth catching.
The hunt is carried out swiftly. Each man has to keep moving, always following the dogs, listening for their yelps, and watching where they run. The Zulu men love their dog hunting and will look for any opportunity they can to hunt on their forested land for game. But each man carries with him a very deep concern for accidentally coming upon poisonous snakes. A significant number of people, men, women, children, and even dogs, die each year from snake bites here. The large group of men is splitting up now. We're heading off as smaller groups, and in some cases, some of us will go it alone.
This wouldn't be so bad if we didn't have to carry the camera.
Many of the Zulu elders are still very in tune with the plants that have medicinal properties, but the skill is in danger of taking a back seat to Western medicine and chemical treatments.
All right, this grows close to water, the river, and this he's telling me that they can take this root and crush it, and put it in not hot water but lukewarm water, let it sit for a bit, and drink it, and it will heal broken bones.
Yeah. Good.
It's good. That's very good. The hiking's getting pretty serious now. They're pointing up at these big rocks. That's a serious snake area. I think what's happening is we're on one side of the valley and there's a group on the other side of it. And the dogs are either with us or running up the middle. Crawling now. Crawling through some pretty dense bush. Oh man. If there's ever a chance to get bitten by a snake, this is the time.
The men aren't happy at all that we're in this area at this time of day. This valley is known to be full of snakes. With the sun coming up, the snakes become more active and every step becomes more dangerous, and is worsened by the fact that we're all moving quickly. Some of us, including myself, are down to searching for game alone now.
It's a fairly precarious existence around here. There's 500 snake bites a year in this area alone, and all these kids are playing in the fields and out in the forest, and there's a lot out here. There's scorpions, snakes, spiders, and some of them are absolutely deadly. As much as the Zulu are also very much a part of modern existence now. It's a very strange cross in their world between, going to school and driving cars and watching television, and you get further out here into the heart of Zulu area, and there's still a lot of on-the-land living. And on-the-land living means, well, when you get down to it, sticking your hands in deep, dark places and moving branches and rocks. What do we got there? So I've got a mother scorpion here, and she's got all of her little baby scorpions on her back. This particular one here is not one I'm going to mess with. See the little tiny pincers on it? I don't know a lot about scorpions, but I've been told when the pincers are small, watch out, because that means the tail is going to pack a wallop. And this one, this mother with its babies all over it, will pack a painful wallop. Now you gotta remember that Kids are around here playing all the time. And I know when I was a kid, flipping over rocks was a pastime. So let's see what I got under this one here. Whoa, 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 whoa. Look at that. Okay. Now this guy is not so bad. You see, some of them, and this is what's going to happen. I mean, you can actually play with this scorpion. He's not such a big deal. You're going to get a sting, but it's not going to be so bad. Some of these other scorpions, kids get stung by them, and you're in for a day, that's for sure.
Separated somewhat from the other hunters, my focus has switched from finding edible game to finding the hidden dangers around me.
Okay, there it is right there. I can see its tail. Check this out.
I'm in South Africa with the Zulu men hunting with dogs through thick snake territory. But on my own and separated from the other hunters, I've come upon a spitting cobra.
So, that's a spitting cobra. I'm not going to be stupid here. Let's back up a bit. And I got sunglasses I'm going to put on. Harder to see in the shade, but a lot safer if he does spit. That's a beauty. That's a beautiful cobra. I don't know if I can get him out of there or not. I think I'll try first. I'm gonna give him a nudge with a long stick, see if that works. All right. That'll help. All right, he's moving. There we go. Okay, all right. There he is, look at that, look at that. Okay, buddy. This is a full-on spitting cobra. This is a nasty, nasty snake. These guys are responsible for a lot of bites in this area. They can be fatal. There he is, look at that. Fatal bites when they happen. Oh, he just bit the stick. Look at that. He's a beauty and extremely deadly. Children play, whoa, you don't, no you don't. Not very far from here at all. This is a very deadly snake. On this planet, this is a snake to fear. It's a cytotoxin, so it affects all your tissue. And the venom, essentially, in layman's terms, just turns your tissue to mush. I've got to keep these glasses on because if he does decide to get a little ticked with me messing with him, he may not turn to bite me. The first thing he might do is simply turn and spit at me with his venom. He can shoot his venom nearly 20 feet. I'm within 4.5 feet of him right now. There's plenty of these snakes around here. The kids play around here. The Zulu people exist, you know, in amongst the scorpions and different snakes. This is not the black mamba. The black mamba is an extremely aggressive snake, but this guy, when riled, he can be one mean dance partner. If I look closely, I can see that his eyes are going a bit opaque, which means that he's not too far away from beginning to shed his skin. And when he does that, just by nature, he's going to need to mellow himself down. So I've got him in a fairly mellow state here, which is why he hasn't essentially stood up and spit at me. Lucky for me. You know what? He's mellowing out. I think I'm just going to leave him there like that. Let him spend the rest of the day on his own. He doesn't need me hassling him. That's pretty incredible. I can take these off now. That's really something. That is a beautiful snake. It's a powerful and deadly snake. It can be very aggressive and very fast. And I'm probably really lucky he didn't rear, he didn't spit at me, but boy, I don't think you can come that close to a snake like that too often in your life. And the kids here, and the men here, and the women here, just living their daily lives as they live them, come within close proximity of a deadly snake like that, probably nearly every single day.
I've circled back around to meet up with the men. And although they've also come across a few more snakes in the field and bush area, the story doesn't seem so good as far as the hunting goes.
I think that's it. We've come out into a community area here on the dirt road, circled the field, had everybody going through the field, throwing rocks, chirping and chattering and hollering, dogs doing their thing, banging the bushes, and all we've had for the whole time has been the chase of a couple of birds, so I think we're calling it now. That's a couple of hours of hunting, loss of a few hundred calories for sure. It's hot now, a lot of men involved, and nothing's come of it. This is supplementary hunting to go along with all of their farming, everything else they do here. That's a lot of work with no payoff.
With most of the men from the hunt gone to drink their homemade Zulu beer, my connection with the nation now comes through the women. And I'm here during the time of a wedding. My involvement in the wedding is something to be honored. Some of the best of Zulu culture is experienced through their weddings as a perfect blend of the old and the new. This is a wedding rehearsal, just slightly different than our Western version, where the biggest concerns are where to put the receiving table and where to sit your uncle.
All right, so what's going on right now is we've got the wedding party who walked in from 5 to 15 miles away, walked in to practice for the wedding dances and songs and music and so on. And they're rehearsing in the rain and they're going to try and go inside. I'm just simply easing myself into the culture slowly. You can't just jump in head first and say, hi, I'm here, let's party. You've got to ease in slowly. You've got to do things with respect. I mean, I've got people with cameras and lights here to capture what's going on, so I've got to do that in a way that doesn't upset them and that shows respect.
The dancing will continue through the stormy night, and the practice is in earnest. Weddings are important and big deals, and they tend to last at least 3 days. And as always, age-old tradition revolves around animal sacrifice. I'm with the Zulu people in Africa, learning of their survival traditions.
So right now they're collecting blood so they can mix it with intestines and it becomes a delicacy later to eat. The main thing of this whole ceremony, when they kill the cow, is to collect the bile. And the bile is actually put on the bride's feet. It's very, very important. If they don't get the bile, if they somehow mess it up and they can't get the bile out of the cow, they have to sacrifice another cow.
They're only too happy to have me help with an all-day job.
The reality is, if I'm going to immerse myself in any culture, in any situation, and go through cultural traditions, rituals, or rites of passages, I can't do it squeamishly. I've got to do it, and I've got to do it full on. And that's getting the acceptance, getting the respect, and handling it that way, and getting in the middle of it.
Men, women, and children have walked many miles to join these wedding preparations, and many more will still come over the next 2 days, walking across the fields, through the bush, and along the roads. And though cars are all around them, most of them don't own one. The sacrifice of the cow is primarily for the bile, but of course, the byproduct is enough meat for a grand wedding feast. Some Zulu beer is finally ready, and I can't turn it down, as this translates as a rejection of hospitality.
Homemade beer.
It's a combination of meal together with malt.
Yep.
They just soak it, and the following day they cook it, and they let it cool. They put it in separate dishes. After that, they put a malt. Then it start. You can see the bubbles. Then they can start to filter it and filter it.
Women are the master brewers, and the woman who produces the best beer enjoys a higher rank within the community.
What's going on here right now is also going on over in the village where the bride's family is. And they'll actually take the liver. Now the liver is considered to be close to the heart. So they take the liver from here, take it over to the bride's family, because it's a nice meat, it's a soft meat, and because it's close to the heart, it represents that closeness, the bonding of the two people at the heart. Then the bride's family will also then pass meat back here, and it represents sort of the back and forth thing, accepting each other by the ancestors and into the families.
3 days of feasting begins now, along with a number of traditions, each with its own symbolic aspect. Some of the bride's family arrive, and they bring a gift to be sold to the groom's family. The gift has to be considered acceptable by the groom's family, or there can be, and often is, trouble. This interaction always starts off with smiles, but in older times the negotiation can lead to physical fights and the canceling of the wedding. This is a full-on barter, and the groom's family is not accepting the offer. They want double, so they just keep on singing and turning away from the attempts made to appease them. This argument could last all night long. The bride's family thinks they're asking too much, and they're not happy about it. The men, however, just carry on, trading meat back and forth between the two families.
You gotta watch really closely. There's a lot of subtleties to the cultural traditions that are going on here, and it all has to do with acceptance from the ancestors. And so what they're doing is they're actually putting some of the meat in the ground with vodka, actually, and or water, and to present that to the ancestors first. Then everybody else gets a chance. This is about discovering what kind of survival methods they use culturally to take them through the ages. And we know that the coupling of the human beings, a man and woman, is a big thing. This type of marriage, as I say, there's no divorce with the Zulu. And the acceptance is between the two major families. There's a moving in that happens. So my challenge is to continue to work on assimilating myself with them and not interrupting what's going on, but being part of what's going on. And then accept the challenges and the traditions that go along with it, like stick fighting and scarification. We'll see what happens tomorrow.
Stick fighting is a fantastic and exciting glimpse into a deadly Zulu tradition. Fighting until blood is drawn to settle disagreements or to show off for the opposite sex. But increasingly, it's losing its importance to the modern Zulu man. And it's a possibility this practice could disappear forever.
So what's happening now is Mbu and I and his uncle actually are down outfitting me up with what I need for the stick fighting. It's the hitting stick, they've got a shield, they're getting me the protection stick. And if you think about it, it's kind of like going through the various stages of not necessarily becoming part of a culture, but at least being accepted into it. And I guess I call this the education stage. So I'm getting an education, and this one's going to be all about how to stick fight.
Each fighter must make his own weapon, straight from the land. This is not a sport, it's a tradition.
You know that buffalo thorn is buffalo thorn tree.
Buffalo thorn tree?
Yeah. If I want to hit you down your knee, you have to protect yourself, you see? Yes. As well as to your head, you have to protect yourself like that, so that the sticks will go like this. Yeah.
Stick fighting requires a number of willing men, so I'm led off to a small gathering where I can practice Zulu traditional stick fighting. The intention is to get everyone prepared for the fights to take place at the wedding. Along the way to learn the skill of stick fighting, we found an extremely formidable opponent.
Just getting together with the men for stick fight training, and lo and behold, spotted yet another snake down here.
Lightning quick and deadly, one of Africa's most dangerous snakes, has a bad temper, long fangs.
Okay, let's just get a close look at this guy.
And like the men with me, rarely runs from a fight.
All right. So this is a puff adder. That's why you can hear that puffing sound. Extremely fast, cytotoxin, very aggressive, and you can see the people around here are not happy that they found this snake. Normally they'll just come and hit it. I think we might be able to convince them to let it go, but these snakes are all around here. There's many of them, responsible for a lot of bites, and yet just another snake the Zulu people have to deal with just to live out here. A lot of kids in this area. We're not far from schools and a lot of homesteads. Okay, let's go stick fight. All stick fighting starts off with the traditional songs, and they must continue through the fight. The day starts off soft, taunting and light battles, getting familiar with the moves and your opponents. When the fight gets going on full, the tradition is that it doesn't stop until someone has drawn blood. Men have been killed during stick fighting. Some of the blows to the head can be deadly, and injuries are common. It's an aggressive game. There are no points, and no body parts are off limits. A blow to the chest could mean a broken rib. Blows to the head are often fatal. And though most of their hits to me are guarded, they're not holding back on making me feel the full power of the stick fighting club. I just took the stick right in the eye, so it's accident's happened out here for sure. One guy was swinging back, his club took me right in the eye right there.
They stick fight to settle bad blood between men. Boys train with soft branches until they're given real fighting sticks at the age of 15. Tempers are held in check. Stabbing is forbidden. As soon as blood flows, the duel is over and the winner tends to the loser. The argument is forgotten. It's the traditional Zulu way of keeping peace among men. Some of the men still prefer to wear the traditional clothing of the Zulu warrior. Even in my own zeal, I hit too hard. But if I do so at my own peril. As much as I ramp up the fight, they will too.
Right in the middle of what's going on here. I have to protect myself here. But there's laughter, but people get hurt badly in some of these things. In fact, a lot of times when they take it serious, the fight is until somebody has drawn blood. It's starting to get there. They're getting more technical, they're pushing harder, they're hitting harder. I know the hits coming on me are much harder. I better get back in there.
The wedding is now into its third straight day of the ceremony. And this is it. The final day of union for the bride and groom. And this is also where my stick fighting training is meant to come into use. They tell me that the fights can break out at any time, as the men show the women what they're made of. At first, the stick fighting is meant to be symbolic of protecting the groom from being chased away by the bride's family or told to leave. If that happens, it can be very real, and it's not play acting.
The groom will come in later, protected by men with shields and their sticks, and I'll be one of those men. That's part of the groom's party, so it's coming soon.
Like the Inuit in the far north, the Zulu have had many years to become accustomed to the outside world. In fact, they've had since the dawn of exploration. Yet in spite of it all, they're trying to hold on to their traditions, their land-based skills of hunting, their language, and their spiritual belief system. It's a Herculean task, to be sure, given the pressure of modernization, and I'm not so convinced they're winning. On the outskirts of this wedding celebration, there are the partiers, the alcohol, and the rap music of the West. But at least here in the inner core, the elders hold tight onto the past. The stick fighters, the drumming, the dancing, and the singing are all hundreds of years old as far as tradition goes. The bride is the one in the red, and between the two families, gifts are given and accepted as the bride's dowry is presented. Brides used to cost 11 cows. Today, the Zulu bride is paid for in cash. The movements of the dancing tell personal stories of their lives and culture. Though the groom's paid, both parties dance and sing until the final gift of Ukwaba is given. The bride carries a chest full of blankets, the gifting of warm blankets to the groom and his family. The blanket is leopard print, a sign of power and used to be real leopard skin. The groom's father is covered in the blanket in a final show of acceptance of the bride and her family. As with all manners of life, the Zulu's full respect is given to acknowledging the ancestors. I came here heavily anticipating the stick fighting, a traditional part of a Zulu wedding. Further north, it may still be happening with zeal amongst other communities. But here, the interest level has become novel at best. There will be no stick fighting this day, even though there are sticks and shields everywhere. And the only reason I can figure, sadly, is apathy. No one could be bothered this day to keep that part of the culture alive. During the Zulu wedding, many traditions and ceremonies abound, but many more, like the stick fighting, are vanishing. I'll need to go on to the Scarification, to the Sangama, the divine healer, to find the traditional spirit holding strong. I was never given her name. She was just known as Sangama, divine healer. The rite known as Scarification will take place in her small hut, and all I have to do is remain open. Scarring is a form of tattooing, a way to identify yourself as a member of a community or family. After I undergo scarification, the Zulu will feel that I belong to them. There are various reasons for scarification. For some, it's simply a matter of aesthetics and decoration. Other times it's meant to bring a youth into adulthood. Here, it's often used to indicate which family you belong to, but the Sangama has other plans for me. She has told me that I'm on a great journey, and that my scars will be for spiritual protection. They will be markings that let the spirits know that I am to be looked after. Each cut on my body is meant to be a marking visible to all of the spirits approaching me, to scare off the malevolent ones and to attract the protecting spirits. Great care is taken to ensure that my blood is not left behind in her hut. And due to the problem with AIDS, the Sangama now only uses sterile razor blades and gloves. But it's no matter. She's connecting to the spirits through the process. When she touches me during the process, I feel only warmth, only caring in her hands. What's needed from me during a ceremony like this is surrender. A surrender of the ego, of preconceived notions, of expectations, even a surrender of reason. For when reason and ego run the soul, the heart cannot live. She rubs an ash mixture into the cuts, so the markings will still show after the skin is healed. The Zulu are extremely superstitious, and they believe the scars will protect me from possible acts of witchcraft, such as lightning. The act of scarification is an act of initiation, an experience shared by most Zulus living in the village. In the local schools, children can be seen with scar markings on their faces, denoting which family they're from. Others receive the marks to be healed of sickness and disease, and many come, as I have, for markings that speak to the spirit world. For the rest of my life, any Zulu who sees the markings on my body will recognize them as a sign of respect. Because I am a man, she makes the scars on all points of my body. She feels I'll need to be strong for the journey I'm about to take. The process is as much about invoking the protecting spirits as it is about banishing the negative ones.
Or when you live, you never turn back because the spirit will come back, will leave you alone.
When I leave, we don't turn back.
Don't turn back.
To not look back is to ensure that the evil spirits can't follow me.
So what's happening now is the instructions are that I'm to leave straight in the house, not turn around, not look back, not look at her.
I need to find a nearby hill to bury my bloody bandages and leave them behind in Africa.
Here's my trail. Sangoma wants me to bury all of the swabs that have my blood on them and the razor blade, everything that came out of me, basically. You're not to leave behind any bodily fluids in any way, blood, sweat, anything like that, hair, because it's part of your spirit. So my instructions are to take it all away from her, take it all with me, and bury it. So.
Seems to me this is as good a place as any to do it. The view is incredible. It overlooks a gorgeous part of Africa. It's right in the center, villages and things all around. And it's actually within sight of where I was with the Sangoma. So to me, it feels very appropriate. Because there's no point in taking part in anything like this unless you're gonna do it seriously. All right, well, I might as well leave it wrapped away. She had it. Blade itself.
So my blood is now left in Africa. I've been given the scarification protection from the Sangoma, the Zulu. But if I keep diving into cultures that are out there, that are different from mine, and that have survived through the ages, through their traditions and their rites of passages, like I have now, by sitting with a Sangoma, a divine healer, and allowing my blood to spill in Africa. And perhaps I can keep finding some of these so-called vanishing worlds and see that they are still alive and well and surviving. With the scarification process complete, the entire hillside community is, they tell me, thrilled. And it's time to celebrate.
You can sit down. When you are like going to the Sangoma, the Sangoma wash that bad spirit and place the good spirits to you. Then you have to be able to serve people, as Leslie's doing. Leslie is pure now. He can able to serve people. That's what she's doing inside here. She gives to the women, she gives to all people. She used to cut the meat to the people. She's allowed. She's a member of the family now. Back. Everything's good.
The festivities will take place in the Ancestors' Hut. This building is built, maintained, and kept clean only for the ancestors to live in. Their spirits fill this hut. At all times, and in the minds of these people, these relatives, who are not really considered to be dead, are very happy to welcome me into their family. They've told me many times that my desire to share in their culture has brought them great joy. The gathering starts simple, the feast. At first served by me, for I've now earned the right to serve them food. I've also earned the right to celebrate and to dance with them, to drink their beer while the ancestors smile down upon us. The Zulu don't see their world vanishing at all. For them, it continues on with great meaning and great importance. But beyond these walls lies a different world, an increasingly homogenized and cluttered world. Beyond these walls, the ancestors are watching with dismay. Yet not far from here is the Sangoma's hut, and that is where the Zulu culture continues to survive. That is where the Zulu belief lives on. If the stick fighting ends, and the weddings become westernized, if the hunting is replaced by imported food, and the dangerous creatures are removed by wildlife management, then it'll be up to the Sangoma, the divine healer, to bring the Zulu back to their spiritual origins and take them beyond survival. The Kalahari Desert is 900,000 kilometers wide, sprawling through Botswana, South Africa, and Namibia. And I'm in Namibia on a journey to connect with a tribe called the San. Believed to be the original inhabitants of southern Africa, it's possible that no other culture on the planet has lived and survived as long as the San people. Around 3,000 years BC, the Sahara slowly transformed from rich hunting grounds into desert. The animals and tribes were pushed south, and they've been surviving here ever since. The San hunt with poison arrows and practice a legendary trance dance that allows them to communicate with the spirit world. This is how our ancestors used to live, and I've come here to learn their secrets. To get to the San, I'll travel 2 days overland through the vastness and beauty that is Namibia. Once free to roam the desert, the San's allotted hunting grounds have steadily shrunk due to new land ownership laws and cattle ranching. Their communities have been pushed into the furthest reaches of the Kalahari. It's important that I get a good feel for the land, or rather, the sand, that the Bushmen of the Kalahari once called home. These magnificent dunes border the areas and the lives of the San, and inspired their souls as much as they would or should our own. Where the desert and sand become rockier terrain, this is where the San people lived and survived for thousands of years. Places where they could hide and hunt game, and believe it or not, gather wild edibles.
These Badlands look about as desolate as anywhere you'll see on the planet, and they do exist all around the globe. Well, in fact, it's a very fertile hunting area and has been for thousands of years. And this is where the San people would come to hunt until they were displaced from this area. All of these ridges, all of the top lookouts are littered with millions of pieces of off-flakes, reduction stones that come from flint knapping, making stone tools. You can go down and get a closer look. This is a lot harder walking than it looks from a distance. The ground's actually very rocky, very pebbly. A lot of slipping. Imagine the sand. Spend their whole lives walking this in bare feet. Yeah, so here it is here. Check this out. These are the places where the sand would come and hide out in the shade. There's not a lot of shade in the desert. So when you find overhangs like this, it's a perfect opportunity place when the sun is unbearable just to hang out and keep your body temperature down. Small family groups would come and live in these caves. And of course, you can see out over the whole valley. You can watch game move, know where you've got to go hunting. They would come here in very small groups, 1, 2, maybe 10 people, and survive. You gotta watch it in these rocky areas here. Real serious hangout area for black mamas. Keep your eyes open. I see. A spot like this where you start to see the sand worn down usually means animal activity.
My journey to the San people is not over yet as I cross Namibia on endless miles of flat and straight paved road, leading to dirt road, leading to trail, leading me eventually to the San people themselves. Halfway on my journey, and I've reached the rocks of Spitzkopf. These smooth rocks, shaped by the sand and wind over thousands of years, were an important spiritual place for the San.
Primitive peoples throughout the world have left their artwork on rock walls. The San were no different. I'm hundreds of kilometers from where I'm spending time with the Kung Bushmen. And yet the evidence of them having lived here is all over these rock walls. Now, I always get in a debate as to why paintings are put where they are. Some people believe that there's an earth energy, a Mother Earth, if you will, a powerful energy that flows through the rock and in through the body of the artist. Yet I also think that there's times when it's simply someone who wants to express themselves creatively. They just simply put a picture on a rock wall, and that's it. With the San people, there's an addition to it. It's also a form of communication. So rather than just a spiritual expression or creative expression, they would actually use these paintings to give communication to people coming through. For example, with the animals, if their heads are all facing in a particular direction, it means that's where the water is. And in the desert, water's everything. So it's a message to the next person who comes along, this way for water. And that's the way I'm going. This one here is actually an expression of the trance dance. It's like an out-of-body experience. And when they go through it, they actually hunch over in a skulking-like fashion. And if you see this drawing here, it's like he's come out of his body and gone into that other place, that spiritual world.
And that's the world I'm heading into. To learn the ways of desert life with the San. How they hunt with poison arrows, what they eat, where to find water, and most importantly, how they secure their spiritual survival. The San believe their spirits leave their bodies during the trance dance and journey to another realm, the land of the ancients. If I can gain their acceptance, I can take part in this ritual and then take my own journey. Perhaps even communicate with the ancients, the ancestors of the San. Two days of overland travel, and I finally make it to a place whose name I can't even pronounce. To one of the areas in Namibia where the San make their last stand before their culture is wiped out forever. We're gonna settle in a little bit here now. I'm gonna get my stuff settled into my hut, and then we're gonna share hunting stories around the fire tonight. Get us all ready for tomorrow. This is where I'm sleeping. Without effort or question, the San welcome me into their village. There's an ease amongst the Bushmen, and the first lesson of survival is strength as a community. The women and men work together well. A symbiotic give and take exists between the tribe and their otherwise most unwelcoming environment. It's my first day with the San people. A century ago, there were thousands of these clans scattered around the desert. Today, there are only a few dozen left. Their hunting and gathering techniques are unique skills that could be lost in just one more generation.
The whole family is gathered around the clan, pounding maize for dinner, and some of the wild arrows that they picked. And of course, it's tea time too.
The San gather in the night to tell stories and discuss what I'll be allowed to do with them. A debate breaks out. The older men are worried that hunting with the poison arrows will be too dangerous for me. The bows are small and the arrows tiny. Perhaps the smallest in the world, but the poison they coat the tips with is incredibly powerful, enough to kill. Tomorrow, I'll learn a skill that few, if any, outsiders have ever been shown. How and what to gather to combine the natural ingredients and make poison. I'm in Namibia, Africa, and living with what is perhaps the oldest culture known to man. The San Bushmen of the Kalahari. Before we head out on a hunt with bows and arrows, I'm lucky to be here on the one day of the year where they raid honey from a beehive deep in a baobab tree. The village has been keeping an eye on the bees to know when it's the right time to harvest the honey, and it's my complete luck that it happens to be today. Heading out on foot means venturing into a harsh landscape that's changed little since the dawn of mankind. I'm getting a little excited this morning. We've got fresh elephant scat on a trail on the way to the honey hunting. Dung from the powerful Namibian elephant, once it dries, is essentially a big ball of dried plant matter. It's the perfect bundle of tinder. It'll smolder for a long time, producing a lot of smoke. When the bees sense smoke, they automatically assume a grass or forest fire has begun. Their instinctual reaction is to return to the hive and cluster in tight and wait it out. This duck and hide response takes their focus away from protecting the hive, allowing a hand to reach in for honeycomb without worry of being swarmed and stung. They've got the elephant dung right up in the hole, getting the smoke up in there, and it's ticking the bees off, let me tell you. You can hear them. Man, you can hear them working up a buzz. The Bushmen are always careful to watch the bees throughout the year to see when they've started a new hive and begun making honey. Only the men gather the honey, The women and the kids stay back in camp. The honeybees of Africa are reputed to be the most aggressive honeybees in the world.
The intensity just keeps picking up. More and more bees coming out all the time. They're just trying to make a bigger hole there, and as soon as they do, you put the smoker back in there and calm the bees down.
The poison in 1,000 bee stings is enough to kill a person, and there could easily be 40,000 bees in this hive. Modern professional beekeepers wear masks and full body protection, but these tribes have figured out how to deal with the fear and the danger, and their reward is a high-energy meal.
So they finally struck some honey. That's a lot of work to get into the tree like that. Like I said, they only do this once a year. If they can, they're going to find their way into some major slabs of honey, comb, to bring them back. That's good honey. Now that's the honeycomb. Yes, this guy there.
With a chance to do this only a few times a year with the hives that exist around the village, everyone takes a turn at reaching for the sweet bounty.
You can see the enjoyment on their faces. Well worth the work of the digging in. We've got bees landing all over us. A couple of stings here and there, but nothing too bad. Still an incredible thing doing that when you think about it, and what a little bit of smoke can do to calm the bees down, and just reaching your hand in, pulling hunks of their home out, and eating them while they fly around.
To my surprise, everything is eaten, and nothing is taken back to the village to share with the women and children. I'm never really told why. With the honey hunt complete, it's time to head out for more substantial food. But first, the group splits. A few of us head out to find the magic ingredient to make poison for arrows. A tiny grub that lives a foot or two under the hot and hard-packed desert ground. We scan and travel through the scrub brush environment, looking for a handful of small bushes where the grub prefers to live. And I notice that no teenagers join us on the mission. No younger San are here to learn the skill.
So all three men are digging down right now, trying to find the larva they're looking for, where they can get the poison.
There's a lot of danger even in just gathering. If you touch the grub and then touch your eyes, you can poison yourself. They never go hunting with poison arrows alone for this reason. It's a dangerous occupation.
To be able to pick out a tree, know that it's the right tree, to dig down deep, to work hard at digging deep, just to find a couple of small little pea-sized grubs so you can make poison for your arrow. Those kind of skills are vanishing rapidly. We're really just looking for a needle in a haystack here. This is what it looks like. And then inside it is a grub.
Some elements of the poison are not poisonous at all on their own, and in fact one is even edible.
It's the other part of the poison mixture for the poison-tipped arrows, wild asparagus. They mix that with the grub that they found. It's the acacia tree. He's getting some of the bark. Mix the bark, the wild asparagus, and the grub together, and they have the poison for the tip of their arrows.
In a moment of sincere lament, the bushman says to me, "My sons and brothers don't know how to do this. They're not learning these ways. And soon, they'll be gone, vanished, forever." The nuances of surviving on the land are many. And although these modern-day San are experts, the true masters were their ancestors. To gain wisdom from the ancestors, we've got to take part in the trance dance. It's during this ceremonial dance the communication with the ancestors occurs. The San believe it's this spiritual connection that has ensured their survival for so many generations. It's day 3 of living and surviving with the San Bushmen of the Kalahari Desert, and they continue to share with me their secrets to life in this desolate and intensely hot and dry landscape. But just who would have taught them how to make poison from this environment? How to mix various natural ingredients into a lethal and toxic substance? One man tells me, we've just always known. And another one says, it was the ancients. Our great dead relatives tell us during the trance dance what plants to pick, what time of year to pick them, where to find them. These and other answers to surviving in the Kalahari are taught to them through this legendary ceremony of spiritual importance. This day, in this location, it's a matter of combining 4 or 5 ingredients, including the guts from a grub, a leaf, and a few roots to make the perfect lethal concoction that we can put on arrows and use to bring down large game with a simple prick of their hide. In a practical sense, these recipes have been handed down from father to son for generations. A variety of poisons have been used with various groups of hunters, perfecting their own signature kiss of death. Toxins won't work unless they enter the mammal's bloodstream, but if it does, the poison destroys red blood cells, preventing the animal's ability to carry oxygen from its lungs to the rest of its body. Death by slow asphyxiation. It can be a long and arduous process, as a hit animal can still travel 40 to 70 miles before the poison fully takes effect. The Bushmen will track their prey as long as it takes to fall to its death. They're extremely careful not to get any in their eyes when preparing the mixture. There's no known antidote.
So we're finally heading out. We were going to head out early, but instead we're getting out pretty late for a hunt. But doesn't seem to matter. That's what their agenda is today, so off we go.
It's an intense experience to follow along with the Bushmen hunters, watching how they walk, where they look, what they concentrate on, when they're quiet and when they're noisy. All the elements of masterful hunting come together in the methods these Bushmen employ to seek out game. And that game may be something as simple as a turtle, something as consistent as a porcupine, or something as grand as a kudu.
Oh, just give me a piece of that root to chew on. Turns out it's about as juicy as a cantaloupe, so it's the one of the main plants for them to be traveling and to get their liquid from. Keeps their mouth from getting dry. It's quite tasty too. Now that I can see what edible plants that they eat, at least maybe I can also have a part in this and help out by also keeping my eyes open for the same plant and for turtles. So it becomes the absolute perfect combination of what we would classically call hunting and gathering. We're on the hunt and we gather while we hunt. It really is the basis of mankind's beginnings. And on through evolution, here we go. Big hole. We have to be very careful passing by these holes, because the leopards actually crawl down into them. And if you walk right by the front, the leopard can jump out and attack. So they're always very cautious going by these big holes. It's a shame that they're reduced to, well, compared to where they once roamed, a very, very small area. It makes their traditional lifestyle difficult. But it's so important not to lose it.
5 hours later, the hot desert hunt continues. The San's very survival depends on paying attention to their surroundings. They have to foster a close relationship with every aspect of this tough land and be able to predict migration patterns, know how to find water. Water is a constant challenge. It's got to be scrounged for, sucked from beneath the mud with hollow reeds, caught in the hollows of trees during the extremely rare rains, or stored in caches of ostrich eggs.
I've only been out it a short while, but they've spotted some kudus.
The kudu is an antelope and would make for a fitting symbol of the San people. They're sleek and strong animals who, like the San, are now sparsely populated over a large area due entirely to declining habitat.
Okay, so far they've seen steenbok and kudus, but I'm not sure what the problem is, but I'm guessing that we've been spotted by them, and so they keep moving on. Either that or we're doing one massive elaborate circle to come up and around and downwind of the animals. For the bushmen, the wind is everything. They must have the wind behind the animals. If the wind is behind the hunter and it blows onto the animals are gone like a shot. So, it's everything. Now that we've gotten to a certain spot, the hunters have spread out a bit. There's a lot of tracks, a lot of kudu tracks. Kudu would be a fantastic score for these guys. That would mean a lot of meat for the village. Keeping up with them is it's like being in an adventure race. It's just constant moving, go straight, and then they only stop when they think they've seen something. So, I think they see something up here.
Porcupine is a key survival food source for the San, and the ones here are twice as big as the porcupines of North America.
Porcupine.
Their long, sharp quills make them a dangerous prey when you get in close. The only way to catch them is to get in close and use a short spear, thereby saving the poison arrows for larger, faster game.
So the whole time is spent looking at the tracks on the ground, since they're pretty fresh for porcupines, so scanning the whole area to see if they can follow the tracks till they end up to a spot where the hole is, where the porcupine will be.
Hunting a porcupine can be risky. Dozens of foot-long quills can penetrate deep into a hunter's flesh and lead to infection. And out here in the desert, any infection can be fatal.
At this point, I'm every bit as much a part of the hunt as the others. We're spread right out so that we can track down this porcupine while we're watching for anything else we see along the way. It's like hunting anywhere, really. I'll be able to see your partners from a distance. At the same time with some of these bigger trees. You gotta watch out, make sure there's no leopards sitting in the branches or big snakes. So we're held up at the porcupine hole. One guy's gone down in deep, and he's digging out. The other guy's waiting at the other end of the hole. Hopefully he'll scare the porcupines through. And he'll be able to spear them as they come up. There's 2 big fat porcupines down there. And that's a lot of meat.
After a few hours of tracking, all of the trails lead to a few large holes in the ground. One of the hunters actually crawls into the deep hole under the ground to chase the porcupines out the other end for myself and another hunter to spear. It's a dangerous way to hunt. These tunnels can cave in on top of the hunter, and there are no shovels to dig anyone out. At the edge of a porcupine hole, hours of walking boil down to mere seconds of action. Now every action is instinctual. The kill must be made. Survival for the bushmen of the Kalahari comes down to this one moment. These two porcupines are a good size, and with no one being hurt, this has been a successful hunt.
That's well worth the hunt. 2 large porcupines. 2 in one hole is obviously a good deal. And the village is going to be pretty happy about this, so.
Most often, this village eats only once a day, and it's usually something meager, such as rice they receive from the neighboring, more civilized small towns. But they would much rather feed themselves with substantial game. And although this is not large game, the 2 porcupines feed the entire village tonight with a lot of meat and fat. And for the San, it's a feast. To sit and watch a San bushman use a hand drill to start his fire is the ultimate touching of ancient history. These are the people, after all, that invented it. They can get matches once in a while from the outside world, but knowing how to start a fire the traditional way is still vital to their survival. Using his language of consonants, vowels, and clicks and pops, the hunter speaks out basic instructions for help. Though they're masters of desert survival and live a life most of us could never relate to, they are still simply people, just a small hunting group of men hoping for luck and happy to have received it.
That's the way I do it too. It's funny how fire starting methods around the world seem to have evolved in the same manner. Thousands and thousands of kilometers apart, yet still, primitive tribes everywhere learn to start fire the very same way, by rubbing some sticks together. Whether it's a hand drill or the more advanced fireball.
Charring the porcupine's outer layer allows for the San to remove dangerous disease-harboring ticks and sharp quills to safely get the most meat possible.
That's the best way to get the quills out. Just drop the animal on the fire, burn off all the quills, and then you can pop them out real easy. Otherwise it'd be pretty tough. So that's the best way to do it.
One of the great rewards of hunting around the world is having an immediate meal right on the spot. The skin and fat, though a bit grisly, is very high and rich in energy. And who knows when the last time these men have had such a meal. Today, they've earned it. They'll be happy to bring the catch back to the village.
Chewy. Looks like it's pure fat. But that's just getting your mouth watering now, isn't it? So now we head back after having our porcupine lunch. I was expecting to eat turtle for lunch, but why eat turtle when you got porcupine? So we're heading back in the heat of the day, the middle of the day. It's going to be a bit of a hike. Loaded down with porcupine and turtle. It was a good hunt. They're very happy. Bring back 2 full porcupines to the village is important. And it helps to preserve this traditional way of life.
All activities are linked in a web of desert survival that is as delicate as it is tough. This includes the trance dance ceremony. I'm getting closer to learning if I have what it takes to connect with the ancients, to learn from the true masters of survival. This hunt was just the first step in connecting with the San Bushmen of the Kalahari.
I gotta tell you, that walk home was exhausting. I'm completely parched and dehydrated.
They just look like they're still coming back from a regular stroll. You know, when the San Bushmen talk about their forefathers and about how the very, very, very first person, all the way back to the beginning, passed the knowledge down to them now, they may very well be speaking about the actual very first person, without even knowing it.
It's now time to move further through the Kalahari Desert to meet up with another group of San. This village incorporates cattle into their survival and even farming. The air and the atmosphere is more tense. They're not just focused on hunting and gathering here. This group is different. These are the San healers, the shaman, and they practice the trance dance.
For a week now, I've been in the Kalahari Desert, surviving and learning from the San people. Now, I'm about to partake in a traditional trance dance.
These Bushmen have shown the trance dance to outsiders before, but this is different. They know I'm here to not only watch, but to learn. And not only to learn, but to find the path to communicating with the ancients, to connect with their masters of survival.
So far, so good. Looks like they've accepted my words that I come here with respect, and that I come here honoring them, and that I want to learn and share in what they do to try to understand their culture better by being part of a trance dance. So we begin.
The trance serves as a direct communication to the spirit world. The San believe their souls journey through space and time to the world of the ancients to give them insight and wisdom for survival. Modern man has lost his ability to talk to the spirit world. The San's devotion to the trance dance can lead me back. They say the ancients are willing to talk, if I am willing to dance. The purpose of the trance is to gain insight and healing by journeying into the spirit world and connecting with the ancients, the true masters of survival. It's also known as half-death. The spirit of the dancer actually departs on a visionary journey to acquire knowledge. All I have to do is remain open. They'll go into the trance, and they'll work hard to put the spirits into me that'll keep me strong. The men circle the women with short, heavy footfalls, the rattles surrounding their ankles pulsing and stressing each beat. Their bodies, hunched forward, with arms close to their sides, are tightly flexed, waiting to fall into trance. It's the women singing and clapping that brings them to a frenzy, so hot that they describe an energy boiling up their spinal columns and into their heads. As this spirit rises, it overcomes them, and they lose themselves to the trance. Years ago, this shaman lost his arm due to a self-inflicted stab into the bicep with a poison arrow. He was distraught over having beaten up one of the village members, and he wanted to punish himself. From the sheer physical exhaustion, combined with the heat of the day, he's reaching the trance. At this time, a man's body is indestructible. He can walk through fire, rub hot coals against his body. Shaking, he finally falls into the comatose state known as half-death. The other shaman explained to me that this is his actual first full trance after years of trying. Perhaps it was an outsider's presence, perhaps just the heat of the day, but he's finally reached something he's been trying for his entire life. He was a shaman in training until this day. He's now reached full shaman status. There are times when shamans will burn themselves horribly. They describe seeing themselves walking through the sky, their bodies left as empty vessels, impervious to the pain. The dance is relentless. I'm feeling only the pain of exhaustion. The heat in this desert is intense. For hours and hours it goes on, right into the night, where it's one foot after the other, circling for hours without end. No distraction from the trance. After traveling the harsh landscape of the Kalahari Desert and participating in a successful hunt, I finally find myself attempting an out-of-body experience through the powerful San Bushman ceremony known as the Trance dance. The healers have reminded me over and over again that I may not be strong enough to keep up the pace. It's been nearly 10 hours of constant dancing, and all the rhythms and the movements are familiar to me now. I'm not trancing, but I am lost in the rhythm, in the heat, in the sweat, in the eerie singing. And the women never stop. Their endurance is nearly inhuman. The shaman constantly touch me, intending to put their spirits into me, into my soul. They say it's their honor to have someone take an interest in a vanishing practice. So they focused on me, taught me, put spirits into me, chased demons out of me. This stranger from the outside world who wants to connect with their spirit world, with their lives of survival. And in the end, showed me the path to connecting with the ancients. It'll be up to me if I continue to take it. It'll be up to me if I utilize their teaching in my own world. The wisdom of the ancients knows no political or geographical boundary. The ancients are always there, ready to be accessed, ready to impart knowledge, but only if I seek them out. The men are connecting to what they consider to be the spirit world, to appease the spirits. Where do they need to hunt? Where can they find water? How can they survive?
Alright, so that was very intense. And to walk through that experience and to dance through that experience from beginning to end, you can't go through this kind of spiritual, physical, musical effect without it coming back on you again and again in life. And it will come back on me many times. I'm going to leave this on now to their own trances.
Crossing the sands of time, I've walked in the footsteps of ghosts of the past, circling the fires of what may be the last generation of San shamans. Never has it been more important to learn the ways of indigenous survival than it is now. Before they disappear through assimilation and are lost to humankind forever. I fear for the loss of this ancient wisdom, a vanishing world of spirit and connectedness that goes beyond survival. Located in the South China Sea, 12 kilometers off the east coast of Sabah, are a chain of islands formed over thousands of years. An entire hidden culture of people spread themselves out along these coastlines. These are resourceful and weather-hardened people whose very survival is a daily concern. To the Bajau, the sea is the mother of life, and we carry her within us. I'm here to live as they live, learn their secrets of spiritual, cultural, and physical survival. Survival that's at the mercy of the sea. The Bajau are a nomadic people, and their ancestors have lived on the water as long as history records. No one really knows why. It's simply home to them. They access the land for fresh water and wood or to connect with the markets, but nearly everything else they need to survive comes from the sea.
When you talk about water world, this really feels like going into some kind of surreal place. I mean, these people never come off these boats, you know. They will hop onto land for some fresh water, maybe some wood, and that's about it. But the only thing missing is the gills. You can see the different levels of boats. There's the bigger boats, there's the huts on the stilts, and then there's the small boats where I'm headed.
I'm on my way to meet Max Aluden, a Bajau father who chooses to spend his entire life on the sea.
Here we go. Oh no, he dropped the feet. Okay. That's dinner.
Here in Sabah, there are 32 indigenous ethnic groups speaking over 50 dialects and languages. It's believed that the Bajau have lived on these waters for more than 200 years, originally sailing from the southern Philippines. A peaceful people, they would simply float away on their houseboats whenever they felt threatened by groups encroaching on their territory. Like most Bajau, Max and his family live almost their entire lives on the sea.
So I didn't waste any time at all in making sure that I was helping out, so that's good. Everywhere around the world, when it comes to simply surviving out there, you can be in a different culture and not speak their language. It doesn't matter. Sign language works perfect everywhere. He's expecting me to help out and pull my share, because now there's an extra mouth on the boat to feed, and that's mine.
With no translator, communicating with the family will have to consist of hand signals and body language.
Max wasted no time in getting busy. Bottom line is they still got to survive. They've got to get out and get their fish and get their fresh water, whatever they need to feed themselves and stay alive. So even taking me on the boat was great, but it was like, all right, let's go. We got to get the net. We got to get out there. We got to get working. And then while we were there, because I was helping with the net, Max joked that he's got a new son now. Little comments like that make a big difference, because that means there's immediate acceptance to having me along. The best thing is when you can have humor or jokes laid upon you when you're with people and you know you're accepted. These people are no different than anybody else. To survive, they're going to need food and water and shelter. Shelter floats. This is it. This is their whole home. Water, they've got to still get close to land, get onto land, get it somehow. The only way they can have water is to find those natural springs on islands here and there. And as for food, well, that's what we're out to get right now. Pretty large net, big holes, so we're going after shark, manta ray. I imagine a big shark will feed them for quite a while, or share it with the community. Not sure how they approach that. We'll just see what we catch. Hopefully, luck will be with Max today and his family.
With no country to call home and no rights, for decades they've been losing their traditional fishing grounds to both legal and illegal fishing vessels. Max relies on his strength as a swimmer to feed his family, and he seems to spend as much time in the water as on it, searching for any kind of catch. This one is small, but out here, any sting can turn deadly, You've got to remove the barb as quickly as possible.
Pretty fast maneuver on a spotted ray there. Had to get rid of the barb. Stingray. Here we go. Lunch.
Yeah.
That's good. If he's gonna keep fishing, I'm gonna go in and see if I can see the action up close.
They've offered me a crude spear gun to see how I can help catch lunch. Max's cousin, along with his family, travel along with us since it's easier to survive with a few men to do the work.
I got it! I got it!
Max has told me that fishing here is actually getting better than it was a number of years ago. But something is missing from these waters. Sharks. They've been fished out, or caught as well for their fins for the Asian market. But these bajau haven't seemed to made the obvious connection. They have a better bounty, but the predators are missing.
That wasn't so bad at all. There was a fish hiding down in the coral. Took one of the sea bajau to show me where it was, but first shot.
This is a puffer fish, and though it may look pretty harmless, it's one of the most dangerous catches to prepare. Many of the puffer fish's internal organs contain a toxin that's said to be 10,000 times more poisonous than cyanide. If it's not prepared correctly, we could die slowly as we chew, almost like being tranquilized, starting with a numbing sensation of the tongue. It's a testament to the sea bajau's knowledge and skill of the ocean to prepare this dish safely and without hesitation.
All right, well, a little successful venture there. And doing some spearfishing with them. I guess it's just a matter of catch as catch can. In the truest sense of the word for these guys as we go along. I haven't seen the kids eat yet. Normally, they eat maybe once a day. So, hopefully that time will come soon because I haven't eaten yet either.
This is the purest form of what I call hand-to-mouth existence. And it includes short trips to the land to give them all the wood they need to cook right here on the boat.
No reason I can't help out with what I know, and I know chopping wood.
Though the task seems simple, every action is a lesson in survival.
Of course, the boats are leaky. So bailing is an ongoing occupation. It's eating time. The cousins have got their fish, their tapioca, their rice, and we've got our fish, and it's just gonna all be shared about. I would imagine, just like in any remote situation, the only way you can truly survive is to have a sharing system with the other families. That's certainly the case here.
We're eating pufferfish, which apparently is supposed to be pretty poisonous, but I have no way of asking them how I'm supposed to eat around the poisonous parts. So I'm just eating.
I'm in the South China Sea, and I'm learning to survive with the nomadic sailors, the sea bajau.
Even though I'm eating all that I can with them, Max Ludin is insisting that I keep eating more. He keeps handing me the best choice parts of the fish, so I guess because I had my part in catching it, so. There we go. Thank you. Yeah. You see what I mean? He keeps feeding me here. It is the best part of the fish. These guys get one meal a day and they're feeding me. So that's the way it works.
Pretty much hand-to-mouth existence. I mean, come out, catch some fish, and
Cook and eat. Just complete ocean survival. Catch it, you eat it, you go try to get some more.
fastidious, being meticulously clean about everything is really important. You've got such a small area to work with, you can't have mess. It would just be a disgusting pile if you did. So they're not going to do anything until they clean all the blood off of everything, clean the wood. And for such a tiny little area, they actually keep it really organized.
In return for being able to stay with Max and his family, all he's asked for is a new spark plug.
The
Sea Gypsies, this is survival. Being able to put an engine together with pieces of plastic and cans and bottles and rubber and metal and wire and keep that engine rolling. That's got to get them from feeding ground to feeding ground. We still have to go quite a ways to put down fish nets. Everything is about just this 16, 20-foot stretch of boat and making sure that everything coexists, everything works, and that engine is paramount. And they can paddle their way too. That's the beauty of these boats too. They can actually paddle their way out of trouble if we need to. And trouble for them could be monsoons, torrential downpours, and powerful winds. Agility on the water is paramount to their survival. Okay, it's time to invoke the universal welcoming tool. In the tropics, the only way to get through the heat of the day is to stay in the shade, even if that shade is cramped quarters and only 7 feet by 14 feet long.
I don't know if they even like that or not. Maybe it just wasn't my best plan.
Huddled together, we wait out midday. The stench of body odor, fish, gasoline, cigarette smoke, and the sea itself hangs heavy under the tarp. As it is throughout all third world populations, their belongings are made up of a series of scrounged bits of material and clothing. Pots and pans and plastic buckets. Whenever they need something, they'll likely just find it. The sea has no problem providing them with flotsam and garbage from a more civilized world. Beautiful, yet dangerous, the waters surrounding this area are highly contentious. A haven for pirates and pillagers. In April 2000, pirates kidnapped 21 people, diving instructors and guests from the world-class diving site called Sipadan Island. Today, military bases dot every coastline patrolling the waters to secure this fragile peace.
Anchor's hauled, sun's gone down. There's a lot of pirates in the area. Even me being in with the Sea Gypsy village. The military wants to make sure there's an escort not too far away. To make sure the pirates don't come in. Knowing that I'm in there and I've got camera gear. Just a little while ago, a woman tourist actually got shot in the stomach by one of the pirates, so take it pretty serious.
So set me up a special place inside here for sleeping tonight. A place of honor, actually. They're giving me the most comfortable place in the boat. Honestly, I don't know how they really get through living like this after a while. The boat heaves all night long. You're sleeping on a wooden plank the whole time. But the night seems to go on forever. It's still dark. And there's no way really of getting comfortable in this little boat. There's actually a fair bit of noise too. I mean, people are up talking a lot throughout the whole village, and it's a crazy existence.
Night takes its sweet time to pass in the middle of the South China Sea. In every way, it feels very surreal here, like you're simply living in another world, on another planet.
As near as I can tell, this morning they closed the hut-in overnight to keep the wind out, keep us a little warmer. He's opened it up now, and it looks like he's pulling anchor, and we're gonna head off, probably check the nets.
It is becoming interesting to see how modern world intersects with this primitive existence, because Maximum is relying on the engine to get us back out to the nets, and the engine's not working now. So if it's relying totally on pulling and paddling, it'd be a different story. Okay, with our engine dead, one of the other local fishermen is going to actually tow us out to the net.
It's a long, slow tow to the nets, which gives me time to take in my surroundings. Known as the turtle capital of the world, Sipadan was designated a turtle wildlife reserve in 1964. It's not uncommon for divers to spot 20 to 30 sea turtles resting on shallow ledges and coral reefs. Rising to the surface to breathe, the turtles are everywhere and can easily be caught in fishermen's nets or engine blades. Local dive centers work hard to protect this endangered species, and the Sibajau respect the laws of protection.
All right, well, we finally made it to the net. And massive sea turtle caught in the net right at the very edge here. Just as we were just sort of checking the net. Took off, got through. So now we're just waiting to get things organized here, then we'll start hauling in the net, I think. Or at least we'll check it out to see what else might be caught on it. They're hoping for sharks, manta rays, anything like that.
Net fishing, though highly effective, can be an indiscriminate means of catching a meal. Though we're out to catch smaller fish, the nets drift in waves, and it's easy for larger prey such as sea turtles to get caught. This can mean costly repairs to the net and empty bellies come nightfall.
Another sea turtle. Away he goes.
That's a lot of fish for no fish. We got 3 sea turtles and they don't eat sea turtles. Big job. To come home empty-handed. Survival on the sea, big time. What happens next, I'm not sure. For them, it's gonna revolve around getting more food and water. It has to.
Max's family still lives a nomadic seafaring lifestyle. Already the permanency of land feels foreign to me, and I think about the slow colonization of the islands, of the Sibajau, who left the open waters to settle on land in hopes of an easier way.
I always got to wonder what it must feel like for them to finally get on land when all of their time spent on the boat. For me, I always end up land sick. I can feel it. I have no idea what it must feel like for them, but they prefer to be on the water. So for them, this is just a quick excursion, grab some firewood, coconuts, and get the heck back on the water. It's always the same when I get into a situation like this. Their feet bottoms are like leather. It hurts like heck to try to climb up where they are and keep up with them. This must be a regular place where they come to get firewood. Already got a trail up in here. The wood's easy, there's tons of it. And they wouldn't need that much to keep that fire going on the boat. Yeah? Yeah?
Loggers have been through here, and so the Sea Gypsies take advantage of the straight cut wood for their own uses. Max needs a paddle for the next time his engine won't start, and he's found some leftovers by loggers that will provide exactly what he needs.
All they need is a paddle, and yet it's a 2-day process. They told me from top to bottom starting now. 2 full days just to get this paddle cut, ready to use on the boat.
Look at that. That's just after a few hours. A lot of chopping. And the final finished product, well, it's not the finished product. They're going to smooth this out on the boat. Yeah, beautiful.
There's a timelessness to being at sea. One day runs into another, surviving on one catch after the next. A few coconuts, the paddle, and some firewood, and the Sea Gypsies are back out to life on the waves, where they prefer to be.
They're going to take me into the village now and actually drop me off
with another family of sea gypsies who spend their time in one of the stilt houses. A whole other version of living on the sea.
It's time to move on, to live and learn with the Sea Bajau of the Water Village.
The crazy part of this existence is that these people here are not sea gypsies. This is a water village. Yet right beside them, just out a few hundred feet, are the sea gypsies. Their houses, their stilt houses, stay out in the ocean. They don't connect to the land. Whereas these people here are absolutely connected to the land. They certainly interact, but not much. For the most part, the sea gypsies keep to themselves.
Only a few Bajau still live in their houseboats, as most have moved into larger, whole-house villages. Only 40 to 50 square feet provides the shade and refuge for 10 to 15 people.
Hey!
Hello!
This is my new family. These are sea gypsies that live here in this stilt house. And their whole life is also from the ocean, on the ocean, and of the ocean. But they made it a little bit different. They're stationary with this hut, and they come and go with their boats. So this is it. 9 children. Husband, wife, 9 children, and one of the children has a child. And there's quite a difference here. I mean, I would imagine they can have more belongings, a little bit of storage. That said, I don't see all that much more in here than I saw on the boat with the family who existed and lived only on the boats.
The water below is the sink, the laundry tub, and the washroom, all at the same time. Fish, of course, is a daily source of food for them. And the truth is, their food actually tastes pretty good. It's becoming nighttime in the Sea Bajau Water Village, and like anywhere else, people gather to share stories and pass the time. Paddling through the village at night makes an already surreal experience seem even more so. Some of the huts have even managed to secure solar power, and so the sound of radios or even TVs can be heard. And on the shore, the odd generator runs, providing electricity to stick huts. On a platform here and there, people work through the night cleaning fish for the market. In the past, shark finning, cutting off the shark fins for the Asian market, was an occupation that kept these people busy. But the local shark population has been decimated by overfishing. I'm in the South China Sea, living and surviving with a family of Sea Bajau. Night has come in, and as always, the shared stories revolve around the sea.
Big sharks. I go down under the water with my camera and film the sharks. And many times I've been able to touch them and hold on to their fins.
They say the shark don't bite you?
He could, but I'm very careful. One time I had a shark. I wore a special glove made out of steel, and the shark came and bit me here. And then the second shark bit me, like his whole mouth was like from here to here, and he bit my hand. My hand was just punched like that. What did you say was the word for dangerous?
Bahaya.
Bahaya. Galang, bahaya.
To the sea gypsies, sharks are to be avoided or killed, and my stories of swimming with the sharks are received with gasps of disbelief. A couple of 100 yards away, some of the Sea Bajau are busy cleaning fish for the market. While this group is probably processing fish legally, with fish populations decreasing rapidly, they will also carry out shark finning, and are fairly indiscriminate about what they catch in their nets. This is the darker side of their world. These sea gypsies don't really know what's coming at them, just how the modern world will rob them of their livelihoods from the sea, or perhaps already has.
So this is a little more orthodox method of survival here, involving the market. They catch these fish by the net and then take them into the local market, probably in Trance, to sell and to exist. Simple as that.
Kasih tambah luman, cuban-cuban mangku tambilawan, diuntung gimu impun aku lalawa.
Pagsiksa pandait ampa ais kium. Isu gagiul anwayaku biutanga.
The mother and father, like any other set of parents on the planet, are first to be up, to simply enjoy the sunrise before the kids wake. A constant struggle is the search for fresh water.
When I go for water at home, I turn on the tap. For them, fresh water is a long trip. It's always the irony of survival on the ocean. You're surrounded by more water than you can even sort of imagine, and yet you can't drink it, and you can die of thirst.
For the Sea Gypsy, the search for fresh water is part of their daily survival. Water shortages have increasingly made headlines in the Malaysian newspapers. The Sea Gypsies have strong immune systems, but in a place like this, you're never far from the possibility of parasites and waterborne diseases.
Water's not actually that bad. It's got a little touch of salt to it, but nothing that you couldn't get used to. As far as how biologically clean it is, I haven't got a clue.
Let's see to turn around.
Onani munda.
Right.
Aho.
Okay.
Narakayo ito. Rakayo.
Now she's giving me orders. That didn't take long.
Like the Sea Gypsies who live exclusively in boats, the ones who live in stick huts also find much of their personal belongings from available garbage the ocean gives up daily. Only a small amount of clothes and housewares are purchased or traded through the market. Now that we've delivered enough fresh water to last a couple of days, life must carry on for the Sea Gypsy, whether I'm with them or not. And today had been set aside to do some rebuilding of the stick hut. They live with the threat of monsoons during this part of the year, and their only protection is a roof of leaves. So once again, they've got to turn to the land to find the materials that make life on the water possible.
I climbed up palm trees in the Cook Islands, going for coconuts, and I can tell you, it is really tough. He's got a lifetime of doing it. That's incredible. The older generation certainly has done this a million times, but we train them young.
Climbing these trees is absolutely brutal. It's real tough. My feet are not built for this. They're not tough enough for this. I've got a handhold. That's the only reason I can even get up this high.
That's a lifetime of getting used to it. All right, well, looks like we're gonna gather a bit more.
For now, no one cares that they come to the land to pick up a few meager supplies, but the land is owned privately, and it's getting increasingly difficult for them to have permission to take from the islands.
Just about every culture that has to get all of its stuff from the land processes the materials right there in the spot, in the middle of the jungle, by the shore, whatever it is, because when you're carrying everything back by hand, extra weight is not an option.
There's no such thing as a tropical paradise without the hard work that makes it possible.
Same weaving methods that I find all around the world when it comes to using palm fronds. Doesn't change here or halfway around the world in the Amazon jungle. Jump over to Papua New Guinea, here in Malaysia, it's the exact same weaving method to make these thatched roofs.
This Sea Gypsy father has admitted to me that he would prefer to live on the land, but no one will let him.
So we're headed off to the other side of the island through the jungle for some more supplies. Continue to repair the hut.
One of the few dangers in this otherwise benign jungle are snakes. Compared to other jungles I've trekked in, like the Amazon, this one doesn't appear to be that dangerous. Yet Malaysia has at least 40 species of poisonous snakes, both on land and at sea. I'm with the ocean dwellers called the Sea Gypsy, and we're on one of their rare trips to the land.
Gotta go a long way into the jungle to get these poles. You can see why they prefer to live on the ocean.
Yeah, that's the jungle, all right.
For the Sea Gypsy of the South China Sea, life is work. Like so many cultures outside of my own, there's little time for just sitting back and relaxing. There's no such thing as registered savings plans, no health plan. Hospitals and doctors are for near-death circumstances only. And in fact, my host is the village doctor, using chanting and medicinal plants to attempt cures. Whatever you need done out here, you've got to do it yourself.
The kids are on duty as well. We've got to kill all the cockroaches. Hundreds and hundreds of cockroaches. That's their job.
Mother Nature is herself an architect. The palm leaves we've harvested from the island are strong and flexible. The water will simply beat off the leaves, and the tight weaving method will protect the family from strong winds and rough seas that come with the monsoon season. Everyone pitches in, since everyone has a stake in the security of the hut.
Okay. Good. Good. One wall, studs are in, electrical wiring's done, insulation's good. Should pass code of inspection.
And now the hard part, embedding new poles into the ocean floor to add a new section to the stick hut. But there are no underwater augers here, so it's all got to be done by hand just under the hut in the water that is their tap, wash basin, and toilet, all at the same time. But even here in this idyllic setting, the sandy ocean floor is not as benign as it seems, and a member of my own film crew discovers the hard way how nasty a life on and in the water can sometimes be.
Someone get Laura now! Come!
Laura, one of my underwater shooters, was moving in close to get a shot of the pole going into the sand when she received a painful sting to her hand. She couldn't say from what. The Sea Gypsy have their own methods for dealing with painful stings and injuries, none of which involve a hospital or regular Western treatments. For them, the answer is to urinate in the ocean in the location of the accident, and it'll make things right. No matter what the problem, infection out here can be deadly.
You gotta be really careful, because there's sea urchins and starfish down there and they sting bad. In fact, one of our camera people was just now filming me. She got her hand stuck by a sea urchin. Bad news. The traditional remedy is that someone needs to pee into the ocean, which is what somebody went off and did. They peed. Right now I'm about 10 feet from the poo hole. That's just lovely.
Laura got lucky. Out of the numerous potentially deadly stings or bites that can occur in these waters, it was a sea urchin. Extremely painful, but not life-threatening. Far more life-threatening for the Sea Gypsy is compression diving for food beneath the waves. And if I'm to continue to experience life as they live it, I'll have to take part. Every year, people die of decompression sickness, and every dive is a risk.
This diving they call compressor diving is extremely dangerous. Now, for hundreds and probably thousands of years, they've been free diving 5, 6, 7, 8 minutes, even longer, holding their breath as they go down for fishing. And that's dangerous enough, but now that they can modify the engines and pump air down to them with a long, long, thin tube, they're staying down there for an hour and a half, maybe even 2 hours. And especially, they like to go out at nighttime. People die doing this all the time. They get bent, as they say, when you're diving, decompression sickness. They die under the water, on the way back up, back on the shore, on the boat. It's a very dangerous activity. But they do it to survive. They do it to get the fish they need to sell at the market or to eat themselves. This is hardcore survival for them.
more modern compression engines will have an extra tank built as a backup should the engine fail. But this is a luxury most compression divers can't afford. The diver goes down deep and fast, and within minutes, he's at 90 feet. Getting bent is extremely painful and can be fatal. It's like having a stroke. Going down too fast and coming up quickly kills these divers every year. Compression diving originated as a way to ensure the survival of their way of life. But over time, industry has taken advantage of the sea bajau by getting them to retrieve propellers and equipment dropped in the water. They pay them little, and they have them dive at night. A few moments into the dive, and my diver is on his way to the top. Something's gone wrong. I'm in the middle of the South China Sea, and a sea bajau, or Sea Gypsy as they're called, is showing me how to compression dive, but he had to rush to the surface. The engine quit, and he found himself 90 feet down without air. He's made it back up, safely this time, and now it's my turn. It takes some practice to get the breathing right. The air I'm breathing is tainted with the thick smell and taste of old, rancid vegetable oil. They use it to lubricate the engine. It's like sticking your head over a French fry vat of grease and breathing deep. It's every bit as disgusting as it sounds.
I think I got it. Really? I think so. Now we go down deep.
I'm surprised at the ease at which I can descend quickly. It happens without even thinking about it, and before you know it, you drop down 20, 30, 40 feet, and deeper. The sea is a competitive environment where creatures have developed strong defense mechanisms over time. And I'm hunting the sea cucumber, a real delicacy in these parts, one of the safest animals in the ocean to touch. But I've got to be careful if I upset one. An irritated sea cucumber ejects a white toxin that can cause blindness if it comes in contact with my eyes.
All right. Well, I want to find a few sea cucumber. I can't even talk. A few sea cucumber. But that's some tough going. It's hard on the lungs. You taste the oil the whole time. You got to be careful with your ears all the way down. But just the same, bounty.
Compression diving is a necessity to the sea bajau. With dwindling fish supplies, the divers have to dive farther and deeper and with greater risk in order to collect fish to eat and sell at the market. They have to expose themselves to danger simply to survive. They'll process the sea cucumber and take it to the mainland to sell at the market. So their livelihood is not only hand-to-mouth. They involve themselves in minor market interaction.
Alam na. One more.
So they've been getting everything ready, and now it's finally time for me to have some sea cucumber. Yee. So it actually takes a few days for the sea cucumber to be ready. When they heard that I'd never had any before, they wanted to make sure I ate it. I think just so they can watch the reaction on my face.
All right, down the hatch.
Ahab sana. That tastes way, way better than it looks. It's the most disgusting looking thing I think I've ever eaten. Let me see this again. Yeah, look at that. There we go. Okay, here we go. Sea cucumber. Mmm.
As my time comes to a close with the Sea Gypsies, they want to share with me what seems to be their one and only ceremony, the offering to the sea to ensure good health, fishing, and success in life. The theorists and biologists have paid special attention to the ocean for centuries, revealing the possibility that life first began because of the conditions of the sea. Respect and honoring of the spirit world ensures safety for all humans in the physical world. The Sea Bajau knows he's bound to his natural world for survival. For this reason, there is always an exchange between the two worlds, such as rice or money to ensure good weather and food from the ocean. A humble offering to the forces of nature.
So that's it then. It's done. That was the official offering to the sea. There was rice, there was money, incense being burned, and it's all offered and left into the sea, into the ocean. Back we go.
The future of the Sea Bajau is unknown. With no rights and no country, no one to stand up for them, no one to fight for them against the shifting tides of change.
We wish you to see you again.
Yes. Aho.
They have a deep relationship with the ocean. It makes more profound and deepens my own. It reminds me that we're all in some way at the mercy of our environment. Until now, the Sea Bajau's ability to survive has been an example of humanity's traditional battle against the elements of Mother Nature. In coming years, the ingenuity and self-reliance of the Sea Bajau will be put to the test as they face modernization and the consequences of man's destruction of the sea. Another culture, another world, challenged to go beyond survival. Sri Lanka is an island nation in South Asia, located 30 kilometers off the southern tip of India. Sri Lankans believe that the island is home to millions of demons, often spreading disease and chronic affliction through acts of black magic. This obsession with demons has existed for over 2,500 years. To be cured from demon possession, you have to do a devil dance exorcism. I'm on a journey to connect with two cultures obsessed with black magic. The Sinhalese fishermen and the mysterious tribe called the Vada. Direct descendants of the original Stone Age inhabitants of Sri Lanka, the Vada are believed by some to be half human, half demon themselves. I'm here to learn their secrets of survival and take part in their devil dance to experience their demons while exercising my own. The culture of the Sinhalese fishermen was decimated when a huge tsunami hit in 2004. Fish is their primary diet and economy. In every way, they live off the sea. Today, I've been invited to help out in what is normally a full community event.
So they're making one big loop all the way around. There's about a half a kilometer of fish net that goes out. One end is already at the shore, and then we're bringing the other end into the shore and then just scoop all the fish in, which is quite a procedure once everybody gets involved. It's a bit of a commonwealth as far as how the boats go. Everybody has access to them. Everybody seems to have access to the nets. So it's really just a matter of everybody getting together. These are the people that got seriously wiped out when the tsunami hit. I'm in a fiberglass boat right now. They used to all be wood, but the tsunami destroyed all of the wood boats pretty much. So they had to rebuild them all. They remade them as fiberglass. Same design exactly, just fiberglass instead of wood.
Under this searing tropical sun, life for the Sri Lankan fishermen is becoming extremely difficult. Fishing has never brought in as much as the country actually needs and provides a meager income for the locals. In 2000, the total fish catch was estimated at 300,000 tons. But since the tsunami, they catch nowhere near that much.
Reality is, they do this every single day, morning, night, depending on how bad the weather is or how bad the current is. But if they can get out there, they do it. When the tsunami hit, it wiped out so many of the fishermen. There's so few left, and yet they're the backbone of the devil dancing tradition. And without them, it's dying away, along with a number of other traditions. I'm here to try and see how much of their culture I can experience, and yet, true to form, it's vanishing quickly. How long before the net fishing doesn't work at all anymore?
When community net fishing fails, many of the local fishermen can still put food on the table by stick fishing. It's an ancient survival method still practiced today. But with the encroachment of the modern world, it's a skill that's disappearing fast.
Okay, do you keep these sometimes, or do you get a new one every time?
Oh, keep this. We can use this one. It's 1 year.
Okay, for a year. Okay. Another kittle?
Yeah, another kittle.
Okay.
Sri Lanka itself was covered with demons. When the British Empire came in, that whole belief system was sequestered down at the southwest corner. Since then, or at least in the last 30 to 40 years, it's also been squished down through globalization to a fine line along the coast. The final blow, and possibly a very fatal blow, was the tsunami.
International aid flooded into Sri Lanka in the wake of the tsunami. The result was an influx of wealth for the poor people living in the hardest hit areas. Aid workers rebuilt homes with indoor plumbing. They paved dirt roads and even handed out televisions. And so the horrific tsunami was happily dubbed the Golden Wave. With the mismanagement of funds, the existing wealthy Sri Lankans didn't get the same support, and many lost everything. The poor became rich, but the rich became poor. Almost 40,000 people died in that tsunami, and 28,000 of those killed were fishermen. Fishermen who believed in demons.
With the wiping out of the fishermen, they were the backbone of the belief system. They're the ones who still held it as a very strong practice. Those fishermen kept the belief alive, and now most of them are gone. And no one's taking up the belief system or the practice after them. Their sons, they aren't doing it. Once they go, it's gone forever. It's called kodol. These sticks that they need for putting in the ocean to do the stick fishing. It comes from the marshlands because it's hard, lasts a long time.
The jungles and coastlands of Sri Lanka, though threatened as much as any natural area on the planet, still offer up the materials needed for survival.
Okay. Son of a... bit me on the lip. Those suckers hurt when they bite. Ow! Son of a... God! Ow! These ants are all inside my pants. The ants are pretty ferocious at protecting the tree, that's no doubt. They're still climbing in me. He's got some on his legs still.
Stick fishing has been practiced around the world for nearly 10,000 years. It was developed to satisfy the need to extend the range and reach of the human arm without disrupting the ocean waters below. There was a time when hundreds of fishermen would sit for hours along this coastline, hoping to feed their families with a good catch. Fishermen are on their own a lot, and fishing can be a dangerous profession. When you have a dangerous job, you tend to be closer to your gods and your demons. These men are the backbone of the Sinhalese devil dancing tradition. Part of the belief is that they are most susceptible to demon attacks at dawn, midday, dusk, and midnight. Walking down a lonely road, deserted beach, or sitting on your stick fishing pole, you can be possessed anywhere if you're alone. This is another reason why the fishermen will go stick fishing in groups. There's always safety from demons in numbers.
This is not easy sitting, especially for my bum.
sure these guys have no issues whatsoever with it. You get pretty used to it and you grow up with it. It's been an hour or so, hour and a half, still no problems, but also still no fish. Most of the men who are out here fishing with me are middle-aged and older. A couple of guys that are younger, but just the same, a lot of this is dying out quickly. Well, we're just gonna keep at it. Stick fishing for absolutely hours on end. They'll come out here for as long as 3, 4, 5 hours straight and just sit and stick fish, often usually through the night. I'll probably stay with them now for another hour or two, or maybe they'll call it, I don't know. I don't really know how they take it, whether they just say, oh, no fish today, let's go home, or they wait it out. All depends on how patient you are as a fisherman. On the end of this rod, it's just a tiny little piece of lead with a tiny little hook on it, no bait whatsoever, and it's just using it like a lure, just jigging up and down, up and down. See what we can find. I'm sure there's been times when just sitting on a stick like this fishing and you just see a big old shark come in and coming around. There's no question that's got to happen. That'd be kind of freaky.
It's time to take my journey farther, into the places I can't go physically. A journey into the realm of the Sri Lankan demons. The night's coming in. And in Sri Lanka, that means it's time for demons. The Sinhalese have an elaborate ritual for dealing with demons. After all, it's these demons that cause disease, sickness, and even personal emotional problems. The ritual lasts an entire night. It's the powerful and nearly trance-inducing devil dance. Before the tsunami, the tradition of devil dancing was already in decline. And after the tsunami, for the first 6 months, there were no devil dances at all. Slowly, the tradition is returning. But today, the Yakadura, the priest, performs only 1 or 2 devil dances per month. 25 years ago, there was a devil dance every single day. Tonight, they sacrifice a chicken. But centuries ago, their sacrifices were human. Demons love vice, anything that enslaves the human mind and body. And in this male-dominated society, women often fall under the category of vice. So devil dancers dress as women to entice the demons to the exorcism. The entertainment part of the dance is meant to keep the 100+ members of a spellbound audience awake for the entire night. In this way, it's believed that their combined energy assists the Yakadura in dealing with the demons possessing the patient. Devil dancing is a nearly 3,000-year-old tradition. It can be dark and demonic. Eventually, the dancers are successful in enticing 6 primary demons and 18 apparitions that cause disease. White masks are for women of high caste, red for bloodthirsty demons, blue for aboriginal tribes, native gods and deities, black for the men of the moors. The sound of the drums becomes hypnotic. The beat pumps through the patient's body, my body. Each individual demon is summoned and appears as a masked dancer, who then speaks to the Yakadura priest and agrees he's been causing a problem. Then the Yakadura either asks, commands, or tricks the demon into leaving the body of the patient, freeing him or her from the affliction. The intensity of the constant drumming and dancing is dizzying. It's a visually stunning display that overloads every sense, and the entire ritual is focused on curing me of fears and disease. My personal devil dance goes on for 12 long hours. Leaving the coast, I'm heading deep into the jungle to meet up with the first inhabitants of the island of Sri Lanka, the Vada. They not only practice devil dancing, they are considered by Sri Lankans to be half human, half demon. Originally existing as hunter-gatherers, the Vada used their knowledge and skill of jungle survival to hunt with bow and arrow or slingshot and to gather wild plants and harvest honey. They've shown their skills to outsiders before, but no one has been willing to head out with them until now.
A little bit of serendipitous hunting. They're going to set a trap for, well, it's basically a small game trap, hoping to catch just about anything. It's classic hunting and gathering. You've got to go after what you can while you're there. It's always catch as catch can.
For the Vada, there's never a wasted moment. We set traps as we walk through their jungle territory. Even while traveling, they're constantly on the hunt for wild game. Venison, rabbit, tortoise, wild boar, and monkey are all considered bushmeat to these jungle-hardened people. Any game caught is commonly shared amongst the family and clan. I'm sharing the skill set I've needed to survive in jungles around the world with men who live this survival every day. And some of them were literally born in a cave. Their high level of skill is obvious, but modernization is only a stone's throw away from this place. A place where they hunt wild game. The Vada were Stone Age until the Portuguese arrived in the early 1500s, and they continued to live in caves right up to 1986, when the government forced the last of them out and into smaller communities, within the last remaining pockets of the Sri Lankan jungle.
They put the traps up around the bush, just sort of around the perimeter of their village. Whenever they need some bush meat, they also eat yams and things that they grow or gather. But just like any trap anywhere, they've got to come out and check the traps every morning, every night, see whether or not something's in it, and whether or not the village eats meat that night. So they definitely incorporate rice into their main diet. Well, they incorporate farming now into their life. This is relatively new for them. Going from having lived in caves not all that long ago to come out, build huts, and now taking up farming. Things have changed.
The government has taken away much of their land, and that's had a devastating effect on these traditional jungle dwellers. The oldest Vada have spent most of their lives living in a cave and enjoying the freedom of an expansive jungle territory for hunting and gathering. But that's no longer. Traveling through the center of the island of Sri Lanka, this small group of skilled hunters is taking me from bush skill to bush skill. After setting a few small traps, we're now on the search to find materials to make a traditional slingshot in a style unique to the Vada people.
Going a long ways into the jungle here, just trying to find the items, the wood that we need to make this slingshot. You gotta be really careful when you stand still for a moment because the ants in this jungle hurt. Man, they pack a mean bite.
Through our travels, it becomes obvious to me that the Vada love their betel nut, and it's a necessity to ensure the strength of the slingshot we're about to make. They'll chew on the nut along with a potent, and in this case moldy, tobacco leaf, and add a cream paste made from lime. For them, it simply replaces smoking cigarettes.
You know, no matter how often I do this, the betel nut just doesn't get any better.
The Vada betel nut mixture packs more of a punch than any other betel nut I've tried in jungles around the world.
Oh, I think I just got dizzy from the betel nut. So me and the old guy, we're just going to chew betel nut while they do the work.
To stop the betel nut from overpowering me, their advice is to take more. I'm in the middle of the Sri Lankan jungle with the Vada, whose culture was one of cave dwelling and living as hunters and gatherers only a few years ago. Not wanting to be an outsider, I've joined them in the chewing of betel nut, along with their tradition of moldy tobacco leaves, and the effects hit me quickly.
Oh yeah, Oh, I think I am getting a buzz. Okay, it's working.
I can't swallow this stuff if I want to stay standing. I've got to spit the red slime from the lime, tobacco, and nut out. Even spitting takes a bit of skill.
He's a pro. Oh, I'm not supposed to swallow it.
The Cobavel tree sapling is peeled and shaved down until the stick is flexible and can be bent into a bow. The bowstring is made from the bark of a tree called orulu. The Veda's belief in demons is as strong as the coastal Sinhalese, so it's important that no spells are recited and no magic used when making bows and arrows or slingshots, so that they're not cursed.
That was fast. The whole thing couldn't have taken more than a half an hour.
The traditional Veda slingshot is a method I've not seen anywhere else in the world. It's not a handheld stick like the slingshots that come to mind in North America. These are much more powerful, intricately made, and they look a lot more like a bow and arrow.
Ano mai? Beata tempatan ko dai. Meatun ta. Okay.
Okay. They use the slingshots to hunt birds and small game, and for protection from elephants. Should an elephant charge, they'll grab a small stone and shoot for the eyes.
Nice. Oh, they're laughing at me while I did the beetle net. I'm very dizzy, sweating profusely, shaky. And his advice was to have some more. Don't think I can. Also feel a bit nauseous too. But we've got the slingshot made, so that's enough for today. We can head out hunting tomorrow.
To bring me out of the effects of the beetle nut and the raw tobacco mixture, the Veda prays into a cup of water, imbuing it with positive energy, an example of the Veda's use of white magic. Tonight, I'll sleep off the effects. Tomorrow, I'll head out and hunt, slingshot at the ready, with Veda hunting dogs. Armed with only slingshots and utilizing small dogs to flush out game, the Veda hunters and I are headed out to see what we can catch in the Sri Lankan jungle.
Reality is that with so much of their territory gone, they're limited to a very small area, comparatively speaking, for hunting. If you're going to hunt, you need a long, large range of area to properly hunt, especially if you're going for larger game, because you want to feed your family. You can get birds down any old country road, but a couple of birds will not feed a village.
The dogs have caught scent of something and are gone in a flash. The hunt is on. The Veda are fast and nearly silent as they tear through the bush. The barking of the dogs lets us know we're close to something. While trying to flush out whatever the dogs may have cornered, a sharp eye has to be kept alert to the various jungle dangers. We have to scan the trees for leopards, watch the ground to avoid the dangerous monitor lizard or poisonous snakes. But it's the elephants that own this jungle. The Veda watch for them always, steering clear of a possible elephant attack.
The hunt was on, but they think the animals dug itself underground. The dogs definitely came onto something, but back hunting again now.
The Veda know these jungles better than anyone, having trapped and hunted in this difficult terrain for centuries. They're still barefoot and wearing little as they slip through their own tropical paradise. We're retracing the steps of their ancestors the ancient hunter-gatherers. Along the way, we take time at sacred sites to pay respect to past leaders.
This is the former chief's home, and it's also his tomb. So we're not to pass by here without honoring the chief. We leave a branch, and he's saying some prayers to the chief, and then we carry on.
For the Vada, the ghosts of the past are always near. I want to honor their heritage and their traditions, so I ask for blessings and safety as we continue on our travels. These skilled men are anxious to share with me a survival technique rarely, if ever, seen to an outsider: fishing with poison.
I don't know how many leaves or roots we're going to need, but there apparently is a little bit of a concoction. Kukulu. Okay. There's a real minty smell to it. It's called kukulu. Part of the poison concoction for killing the fish.
Collecting the kukulu was easy, but now we have to harvest the most dangerous element of the poisonous mix.
Apparently the poison from this tree is so powerful that they won't let me try this. If I get some on my skin, I get a horrible rash, and if I get any in my eyes, like I just did, I just got some on my skin. If I get it in my eyes, I go blind, so, okay, I'm gonna back up a bit.
They're being really careful here. This is very poisonous. I wonder how many people have messed up and lost their eyesight because they've had this splashed into them. They tell me that if you get this in your eye, it kind of forms a web over your eyeball, and so you go blind, you can't use it anymore. And for them, how they relate it simply means then they can't go hunting.
You can always tell by the look on somebody's face and the look on their face when I had the poison on my fingers. They weren't kidding around. They were like, get it off your finger now, ripe it on the grass. They've had members of the tribe go blind from it, so must be some pretty strong poison. This is another poison called karanda.
By chopping the bark away, we gather the soft insides of the karanda tree. The fibers of the tree are a key ingredient in making the poison. We also have to dig down to unearth the roots.
So they need this whole root of this tree to mix with the other 4 ingredients before they have the right poison concoction that'll work on the fish.
While gathering the poison for fishing, the Vada were distracted by the possibility of finding honey.
All right, they're just watching the bees that are flying and checking out the direction of the bees.
And that's classic honey hunting. Same way it's done all around the world. You watch the bees. Bees will fly in a straight line. They don't curve around. They go in a straight line from the hive to where they're collecting their pollen.
We've caught a distinct line of honeybees coming and going from a distant hive, and we embark on miles of searching to see if we can be led back to the honey. By following the bee's flight path, we're led straight to the hive. Honey hunting is as old as the Veda's culture itself, being reported by the first colonial explorers who encountered the Vada tribe in the early 1500s, and their honey is notoriously good. The Vedas are fearless as they approach the hive. For them, honey is not only their favorite food, it's a valuable bartering item in the market.
This is a whole new method here. Okay, so they're not actually even smoking them out. He's just blowing in up the tree.
Do the bees, do the bees sting? Yes? Okay then. The bees sting.
All we're doing to calm the bees and keep them from swarming us is gently blowing on them. Perhaps it's the peaceful energy and the Veda confidence and calmness that's transferred to the bees, lulling them into a non-aggressive state. Whatever it is, it's working.
Go, go. Look at that. Sweet. This is only done 2 or 3 times a year. Let the combs rebuild. Got bees going up my pants. It was really interesting to do it without using any smoke at all, just blowing on it and putting my hand in and pulling it out. Never would have thought that was even possible.
Right now, the eldest is offering some of the honey to appease the demons, so he's just doing an offering right now over the freshly gathered combs.
Time is taken to honor the bees, and we even close the hole back to protect the bees from weather and allow them to rebuild.
This is going to be good. Wow. That's a lot better than beetle nut.
Both the main gatherer and myself have received a couple of bee stings, the small cost of a sweet treat.
Everybody's having a bit of a piece, and a lot of it will go back now to the village for those at home. This was amazing.
After a successful side trip to gather honey, we're back on the path to carry out fishing with natural poison. And the path here is not as benign as it may seem.
We're still trying to make our way down to the spot where they figured dropping the poison, but on the way there, some of the trails obliterated by elephant traffic. It's also jaguar, elephant, and sloth bear. They worry a lot about sloth bears as well. Sloth bears have very long, sharp claws, so when they do get nasty, they can take your face right off.
I'm in the middle of the island of Sri Lanka, with the jungle inhabitants called the Vada. We've set to work quickly, breaking the fibers of the plusvel tree bark, using clubs, axes, and even rocks. We're preparing the poison.
If somebody in the group has a pregnant wife or girlfriend, the poison won't work.
Preparing the poison in this way is time-consuming. So hopefully the results in the pond will be quick and effective. Each ingredient of the poison has to be broken down individually. And the desired effect is that the poisons will react with each other and with the water, either killing the fish outright or causing them to come to the surface. This young man represents hope for the Veda people, a youth willing to live the jungle lifestyle alongside of his grandfather.
So both top and bottom, they've begun to dam up this pond here, block the water from coming in at the top and block the fish from getting out at the bottom, so that they can make the pool obviously more still and poison the fish.
At first they told me not to even touch the poison because I could go blind, but now they say jump in the water and mix the poison in. What I'm hoping is that it's diluted enough not to affect me.
So we're trying hard to get essentially the juices out of these roots so we can get it into the water.
I don't feel anything on my skin, yet within minutes, the fish begin to react.
That was incredibly fast. Just within the first few minutes of getting the poison in the water, fish have started to float to the surface, just little ones, which is all they promised in this little stream anyway, was that we would find just small ones, but they're starting to come up already.
The fish react as if the oxygen has been removed from the water. On their sides or their backs, they struggle to the surface, seemingly searching for air.
We knew in coming here that this pond was just going to have little small fish, but sometimes they can do this in ponds and pull out fish like this with the same poison, same method. And that's got to be a real catch when they do that. This is a lot more active than I thought it was going to be. The fish don't just plop up to the surface and float there and wait to be picked up. They're actually actively going around and using a stick and whacking them as soon as they see them. One way or the other, they come to the surface, we whack them with a stick. One of the guys actually caught a real nice fish, about 8 inches long, tossed it across the creek to his buddy here, missed, and it went in the water and sunk and it's gone. It's the one that got away.
Using flour, shaved coconut, and water, they prepare their food in a traditional East Indian style. During the right time of year, they can catch 50 pounds of fish this way. And this makes poison fishing a very viable method for feeding large groups of people who work together to make it happen. Today, it's just going to be a quick meal of small jungle fish. In a few hours, armed only with slingshots and looking for small game, we'll head out into dangerous elephant territory.
They're being very, very quiet as we go through. That last bit of grass I just pointed out, and they pointed out to me, was a recent mess made by elephants. It's kind of spooky, just going right through the jungle, knowing that there could be elephants just about anywhere. That seems to be their concern anyway. And if they think it's something to be concerned about, then I'm concerned about it. They just keep showing me elephant track after elephant track, and they're fresh. Nobody's talking now. Very nervous about this. They're also watching out for sloth bears and leopards. But right now, it's just elephants that we have to worry about. That's all. We got an elephant up ahead.
After traveling through extremely dangerous elephant territory, I'm in a place deep in the Sri Lankan jungle. It's been used for over thousands of years for hunting and gathering, and it's here that the Vada people will show me their own dark version of the original devil dance.
How do you say in Veda? Fire.
Giniracha. Giniracha.
Giniracha. Giniracha. Borakanda.
For the modern Sinhalese who live far from here on the coast of Sri Lanka, the devil dance is the means to ward off the evil influence of the thousands of demons that cause illness and even bad luck. This is also true for the Vada. They go a step further. Their trance is meant to part the veil between worlds so they can gain access to key survival information. Dancing and singing for hours on end, they'll fall into a trance and communicate with their demons about where to find game and wild edibles to ensure their tribe's continued survival in the jungle. Coconut water is used to cleanse the area. The fire is meant to clarify the air of demons that you don't want before you call in the demons that you do. The Vada dance for guidance. They have no need for masks or costumes.
It's an absolute incredible difference between the way these Vada do their devil dance and the Sinhalese do their devil dance. Now here it's very crude and very organic, and with the Sinhalese it's a very beautiful, colorful, it's more like performance art, although they believe it very strongly and they utilize it for the exercising of demons and spirits. This one, crude and rough and dark, and that's pretty intense. We're supposed to leave there quickly because of the evil spirits, and because I'm talking right now to the camera, I'm the last person on the trail. I think I'll pick up my pace.
There's one spot here, sort of out in the middle of the Sri Lankan jungle. You really feel like you're touching the past here. These guys have been out here many times before. They said as long as they've known, they've always come here and they've always stayed here while they've hunted. A bit of a height of land, you've got a good view all the way around. They also have rock caves that they stayed in as well, but this is a place where even whole families would come through and plan on staying here. There's lots of fresh elephant dung, even right up here, right on the top of the rock. They said that last night the fire, they kept it big to keep the elephants away. There's the guys back there having their morning beetle nut.
The Veda's territory has been reduced so much that the loss of traditional hunting grounds means the loss of accessible game. The same story that exists all around the globe for many Aboriginal peoples.
Haven't quite put my finger on the Vada at all just yet. It's tricky to try to understand the Vada and their way of life. On one hand, when I first arrived here, I was extremely skeptical, even to the point of being cynical about what I saw. But since I've had all this time with them, I found that within their own minds and hearts, they are still attempting to live the life they've lived for thousands of years. They certainly maintain their skill sets. They can hunt and fish and live on the land. They can evade bear and snakes and elephants. But for how much longer can they evade the encroachment of civilization? This is the strangest case of a vanishing culture that I've come upon yet.
Geographically, the Vada are only a short drive from the modern world. And according to the Vada leader, they've made a conscious decision to avoid cell phones, television, and electricity. Yet some areas are already set up now for tourists to come and experience the Vada culture. And this brings them dangerously close to becoming a human petting zoo, when all they really want is to live their traditional lifestyle. But unfortunately, they no longer have the available lands to live it in.
For them to properly and truly hunt, they've got to travel much farther than they are essentially allowed to travel. It's an old familiar story. All around the world, it's the same thing. The Vedas exist on the brink of being yet another vanishing culture.
If, in the face of encroaching modernization, the Sri Lankan people can keep their belief in demons and practice their unique methods of fishing and hunting while they discover the technology of the new world, then perhaps they can continue to enjoy their own rich culture and successfully take it beyond survival. New Guinea is an island located 150 kilometers from the northern tip of Australia, in an area known as Oceania, located in the South Pacific Ocean. More than 700 ethnic groups call the island home, and of the world's 6,000 languages, over 1,000 of them can be found in New Guinea. I'm here to learn from the Hiwa tribe. Thought to be ruthless cannibals, the Hiwa were known for adorning their huts with the skulls of dead family members. The act of preserving these skulls is a Hiwa ancestral honoring practice known as the Camin. I've been given special permission to be involved in one of these ceremonies. It's never been photographed. It's never been filmed. And this will be the first time an outsider will even witness it. Deep in the rainforest, the Hiwa will push me beyond survival, like never before. The Hiwa occupy the largest inland wilderness in Papua New Guinea. Their extreme remoteness makes for incredible isolation. Missionaries didn't cut the first airstrip into the area until 1992. Besides a few anthropologists and missionaries, mining company employees from far upriver have been the Hiwa's only visitors.
You gotta remember, these people have visits from airplanes maybe twice a year. Maybe a doctor or an anthropologist, and that's about it. So for me to be here, there's kids who've never seen white people before. There's kids who've never seen technology before. It's a big deal for them.
There are no roads, so I'm leaving the landing strip cleared by machete, led by the Hiwa tribesmen who've agreed to allow me to participate in the secret Kamautan ceremony. Reaching the riverbank, we set to work making a raft. The Hiwa ride the current of the water to speed up travel time. Gathering driftwood and felled logs, I lend my own logging skills to construct a crude wooden raft, big enough to carry myself and 2 guides. Bits of cloth and tree fibers hold the raft together. We won't even really sit on it. We lie down and ride, half submerged in the water, pushed along by the current. Of course, the materials are all natural and come straight from the jungle.
Raft's in the water, so here goes nothing.
The raft is efficient for getting us downstream fast, and we have to hold on tight. Drowning would be easy in this fast-moving, muddy water. Rafts are used often to cross the big rivers. Rivers that are too big to cross with a typical vine or rope bridge. After a few miles, we reach a better spot for accessing the jungle.
Just getting to the village, for whatever reason, involves this kind of a hike all the time.
The hard part starts now. There are still hours of hiking ahead before I reach the promised ceremonial site.
Face to face with my nemesis. This is the wild beetle nut tree. Yeah. Chewing beetle nut. Not my favorite occupation.
This is Capiak, my guide, and no one really knows how old he is, but most of his life has been a near Stone Age existence. He knows little of the outside world.
We're now outside the village a little bit with some of the Hiwa who are completely dressed up and are about to take part in a Kamautan ceremony where they raise the bones of the dead out of the ground after so many years and place them in a small hut of honor.
For Capiak, the moment is met with overwhelming sadness. No one has been looking after the grave of his wife, and it's begun to fall apart. The purpose of the Kamautan is to ensure that the spirit of the dead can pass safely into the afterlife. The Hiwa wait at least 4 years for the body to decompose before gathering to perform the ceremony. This is the true final resting place for the bones of the deceased. To the Hiwa, the Kamautan is an honoring to the dead, a way of saying goodbye once and for all. They mourn their passing tribe member and yet seem happy to release the soul into the next world. It can be downright ghoulish by Western standards. The missionaries were quick to forbid the practice. The church thought it had successfully stamped out the Kamautan ceremony. Well, they thought wrong. The Hiwa have continued to perform the Kamautan in secret. No outsider has seen, or let alone participated in the Kamautan ceremony. Until now.
This red is from the Nemopia plant, and it means blood. The black indicates fire, and the design itself indicates people.
These symbols act as a form of communication from one tribe to another, should anyone walking through the jungle stumble upon the altar of unearthed bones. Fire is the most powerful tool in the Hiwa toolkit. In this ceremony to honor their ancestors, fire is the symbol of home and the time spent around the hearth. Fire feeds, comforts, and sustains, so it's appropriate that fire should accompany the ancestors' release into the spirit world.
So that's just 2 stones, 2 pieces of rock, and a little bit of tree bark and fire. That's brilliant.
With the fire successfully started, we're ready to raise the bones. But before we can, another group of family members arrive, and it's clear they're not happy. This is the other side of the family, and they haven't been consulted about exhuming their relative. They demand we stop the come out and ceremony immediately. Demands here are emphasized with machetes.
Seems to be some kind of problem going on here right now. I don't know, argument of sorts. Some of the townspeople don't seem happy about something. It could be we're on certain land, or it could simply be that they don't want the come out to happen at all. I don't really know. Here, they don't seem to be too freaked. They're sort of carrying on with the work.
With the body painting and the building and the decorating of the altar all done, it's a long way to go to stop now. But in this jungle, where each man carries a machete, disputes are taken seriously. So before tempers get too hot, we have to give in to the danger. At this point, there's no way we can continue this come out and ceremony.
So the brother side of the family has shown up, and they are not pleased at all that this was happening. Not only was it kind of strange and secretive doing this because of the church involvement, but now just even the other villagers have to be involved in certain ways. So we may have to go up into the mountains to get this to happen.
Deep in Hiwa territory, I'm trekking through the New Guinea jungle, headed towards a couple of huts high in the mountain ranges. I'm hoping to connect with another family so I can participate in the controversial come out and ceremony.
Here we go. It is the jungle, so here comes the rain. Generally speaking, just like any jungle, we're just moving into the wet season here. When the rain comes, it could start at 3 and then end at 3. 12 hours of solid downpour. It very rarely moves sideways. Here it's just straight down like a wall. Oh, it's bucking it down. I have to put this camera away before it gets soaked. I'm bitten by ants all at the same time. Alright, I gotta shut this camera down.
As with all jungle existence, hunting and gathering never stop. Even on this trip out to the new come out and ceremony, we'll stop to hunt and gather along the way. If they don't eat.
Fruit's not ready, but there is fruit way up there. And he's gonna go for the fruit. There he goes. That's the true definition of hunting and gathering. They never stop gathering while they hunt, and they never stop hunting while they gather. That's the only way you're gonna survive out here, is keeping your eyes open.
All that work is not ripe yet, but they know where the tree is. They know it's got lots of fruit, so when that happens, no doubt they'll come and harvest again. These guys have domesticated pigs that they use. There's also wild pigs rolling around here too. Oh, there goes the dog. And there's the pig. This pig's got a notch in its ear so they know that it belongs to somebody. So they're not going to touch it. Otherwise they would have gone for it.
No? Muruk? Ah, Muruk. Okay. This is some wild pig food. Keeps the Muruk, the wild pig, happy.
Matches are still a rare commodity here in the deep jungle. The traditional skills of starting a fire with a vine are still a necessity.
There's not a lot to grab onto there. I did this one time before, a much longer vine. I was able to get some more room to it, but here he goes, look at that. Hey! So these guys, matches are a premium. When someone like I come into the village, leave the matches, that's cool, but sooner or later, those matches run out. First thing he does is light a smoke. And they all, even the young ones, have got to know how to do this. All right, so we're going to just keep a little fire going here and settle ourselves down and start hunting from here. We're way up, way up the mountain. This is where the forest habitat starts to change, and so there gets to be a little more game possibilities up here, especially birds. So. You want to try film? Use the camera?
This belongs unless you step inside.
Yeah. See? You see us both? And come like that, and hold still. Good. That's good. All right, we've had our break and we're going to head out hunting. We've got 3 different types of arrows. This is made out of metal and is for wild pig. This one here, hopefully we'll be using is for birds. You can see all the... So they're using everything to make these arrows. This is actually the toenail of a cassowary, big bird. The last one they still carry around. That's for human beings. That's for man. So if they have trouble, that's a long arrow.
Not all actions taken in the jungle are based on physical survival. Some are for the emotions alone.
Okay, so the flowers for his lady friend. Just found that out. Same everywhere. Gotta bring him home a flower. I was thinking it was like for poison, or they could eat it, or something to do with hunting, and he was just picking it for his lady.
We've been trekking for hours. Surviving off the land means never resting. We all have little food in our pockets, so hunting means eating.
Again, just more tiny little signs of where they should be hunting. Drop seeds. Pretty sure that the main thing that they're looking for right now is either wild pig or cassowary, the big bird. So we're just still pushing on, going through. The dogs are running out ahead of us to see if they can scare up the game. So as soon as the dogs scare up the game, we're gonna have to run through this stuff. Got some action here. If they can get it, they will. It's just a bird, but it puts them right on the alert and ready when good game is this far apart. You got to be ready because you're only going to get one chance. Again, we stopped because we're just watching the birds. It's all about watching the birds, watching where the nuts, seeds are, berries, and eventually this little dog will kick into action. They've got a bird spotted in a tree here. We're just trying to bring them close. I just gotta shoot this thing straight up.
Nothing. Straight up. And straight down again. I know there's been other places where I watched the indigenous peoples hunt like that, and they've had it where the arrows come right back down, right at them. In fact, one guy lost an eye doing it, and then years later lost a second eye doing the same thing. So we kind of jumped out of the way there. But no bird on that shot. Good shot though, real close.
I'm with the Hiwa people of New Guinea, headed towards a remote village high in the jungle mountains, and I'm hoping to participate in the controversial come-out ceremony, exhuming the graves of the dead.
Ah! Son of a... Ah! Ah, ants are biting. Yeah, ants falling into ant nests here and there. Biting big, fat red ants. Look at that little... Ah, sucker. See? Look, he's biting. Trying to bite into my shirt. Ah. Okay, that was crazy. Had to kind of rush through an area because of the ants. Had a house, and big, massive mound was all ants, and every time I went through, even the Hiwa were running because they were knee height with the leaves, and were just getting all over us, and they knocked the tree. Had ants falling down, ow, on my head, so they're crawling out here, big red ants.
The New Guinea mountain jungle, apart from the ants, is fairly safe. It doesn't have the variety of a jungle like the Amazon, but it's exactly that characteristic that makes it such a tough ecosystem to survive in. And gardening is the only way to eke out an existence here.
So this is his garden area. All of this area through here is his garden. And this is how it all starts, just like this. We've got to come up here and chop down by hand, one tree at a time, including these big ones. It's not quite ready for burning yet, but it is ready for chopping, so I'm going to give him a hand.
The Hiwa have turned to gardening as a way of ensuring their survival. They prefer to cut secondary forest for gardens. They'll continue to make gardens on the same land once an area has been cleared.
Oh, come on.
Hey.
Okay.
Next one.
Next one. Just another 400 trees to go. This is the way. Steven's got to finish this entire area. Who knows how far he's going to end up. Obviously, it's a few acres that he wants to clear, and it's basically him, maybe a brother, friend with a pair of axes. Reality is that hunting is not enough here. If they don't garden, then they won't survive. Kenai Mountain. They say that the mountain belongs to the Hiwa. That's a big, beautiful mountain up there. So this garden's coming along well. They got potatoes, squash, banana, a lot of different vegetables growing here. And this is what they've got to do if they're going to survive it all out here.
The Hiwa refer to the burning of a clearing as cooking the garden. It's the final step before planting enough vegetables to feed their family. The tiny jungle path leads us away from the gardens and straight into a small collection of huts high in the mountains.
Village up halfway up the mountain with the King Kong cliffs in the background.
If I'm lucky, we're one step closer to seeing a full come-out ceremony take place.
Okay, I just had a chance to cool down. We're at this house, which is way up in the mountains. So I'm gonna head in. This is nice, wow. Gotta check out the floor though, look at this. You could tell some serious time was put into making this hut. It's huge, for one thing, and I mean, the floor is woven. The walls are all woven. It's beautiful, beautiful craftsmanship. There's one hut, way up high on the mountain, no access to it, but walking through incredibly arduous trails, and a whole family just living here, eking out an existence of survival with a little bit of gardening and a little bit of hunting and a little bit of gathering. That's about it. Surrounded by disease, the Hiwa develop a close relationship with death. Life expectancy here in the mountains is only 32 years of age. It's pretty much chill out time in the cabin. Everybody's around the borders over by the fires. The men and the boys are all over on one side. The women, children are all over on this side. They keep separation between married and unmarried women and the men and the unmarried men. They've got a way that they keep a separation there. I'm not sure why. There's a competition factor and keeping everything running smoothly, but they're feeding me kalka. Like a potato, like a sweet potato. It's really good. Ah, this is good.
It's middle of the night. The night has just been a series of tortured coughs, hacking, wheezing, sniffling. You gotta figure that virtually everybody in this hut has malaria. The kids, the seniors, adults, they've all got malaria. Agonizing skin ailments, they all covered in lots of flakes of dried skin and scabs and pus. And every once in a while, a baby will wake up just, being a baby, and then other times kids will wake up, but you can tell that their moans are moans of pain, not just a kid waking up at night. It's a long, torturous night here.
Participating in the Camin hinges on being accepted by this community. I'll hope to further gain their trust by continuing on a mountain hunt, utilizing one mangy dog to flesh out game.
It did rain throughout the night, making everything pretty slick, but not too bad. It didn't pour. So that's to our advantage this morning.
Ausflug.
I can't be sure, but I think like a lot of indigenous cultures, when you come upon someone else's house, you've got to call from the bush first, just so they know it's not an enemy coming. Sort of tradition. There's no question that the toughest part about keeping up with the Hiwa is their dizzying pace on these trails. They're walking in bare feet, scooting along like it's a little walk in the park. But for me, that's intense. It's adventure racing to the extreme here. Not so much poisonous here. Don't have to worry a lot about that, but there's a lot of malaria, diseases of the skin, jungle rot, but mostly it's this terrain, incredibly rugged mountain terrain. Knock a good man down. In hours of walking, we've seen nothing. Dogs have been on nothing. We haven't found a single trail. Now we're bushwhacking.
Late in the day, the dog catches scent of small game, and we all go to work trying to flesh it out or trap it in a corner.
Dog has actually already gone into the hole.
Fucking idiot.
We're hoping to trap an echidna, a small mammal that looks mostly like a spiny anteater.
Okay, so we've got new action now. It's not an echidna that the dogs chased down in the hole. It's a wamsua, rat. So our Hiwa guy's gonna actually get down there with the machete. Hopefully the dog will get the rat, catch it, kill it, bring it out. And if only half kills it, they'll kill it with the machete. We could be eating rat tonight.
The Hiwa are built small and tough. The holes they cut to access the burrow are narrow, just the right size for them to squeeze in and out. Even my shoulders are too broad to make it through the opening.
I've been trying for hours to get down in there to get this rat, and no luck. It's a lot of work. You gotta think about it, calories out, calories in. We're talking about a rat that probably weighs a few ounces. I don't think we're gonna pull this rat out of the ground today.
The dog is trapped, too eager to reach the rat in the deep recesses of the hole. With the mud caving in, the hunters have got to quickly release the dog before he's buried alive beneath the jungle floor. You can barely hear his muffled barks from deep within the earth. If we don't get him out, the wet mud will collapse and he'll be buried alive.
He's gone right down deep into the hole. I actually lent him my flashlight so you can see around. He's trying to locate the dog down in there.
A good hunting dog is hard to find, especially in remote areas like this. The Hiwa work hard to free the dog, risking their own lives in the process should the hole cave in on them. Finally, after an hour and a half of searching, the dog wiggles his way out, released from what was potentially a muddy grave.
Come on. Yeah. Dog still wants to go after the rat. Well, they've given up. Well, you know, I'm going to use that word, that phrase, given up, pretty lightly because they worked really hard at trying to get that rat. And here comes the rain again.
Jungle trekking is always wet, sweaty, and involves much intense physical struggling up and down steep, muddy hills.
Well, no. That is one big spider. With, as they say, with pickaninny, with babies. That's big. Hey, is it bite? Bite? Oh, it bites. Okay, and it bites. I didn't know if it would bite or not. You've been bit. Ah. Ay, ay, ay. That thing's the size of my hand or bigger.
Many miles of climbing later, and we've reached another small jungle hut where we can spend the night in preparation for the next day's ceremony of the dead.
When you stay with indigenous peoples, you've got to get used to being watched and being stared at, because they pretty much, come and sit and just watch you the entire time. And if you can't get used to that, you can't come to a place like this. It dies off after a little while, but in the beginning it's pretty intense. All they want to do is watch your every move.
You can see how swollen the river is down there. I don't think, we're not going to attempt to cross here. I'm not sure what we're going to do at this point. Hiwa got a makeshift bridge, goes across the Lagite further up. We can head up to there. Of course, I have no idea of knowing how rickety that is, but apparently it's going to be better than trying to cross through the torrent right now.
I'm on the island of New Guinea, trekking in the jungle with a local tribe called the Hiwa. We're on our way to perform an ancient and controversial burial ritual, known as the Come-Out.
At this point, I'm really not sure whether or not they know where they're going. It's tough going. Even the Hiwa are sweating. I don't feel so bad now. The 6-inch wide path is washed away. And it's about, 400 feet down.
Wow. We're not crossing this. That's not a bridge. That's a log in between two rocks. You can see pretty much one slip, one break of this thing. That's gonna be one nasty ride. Oh well, there goes nothing. Oh yeah.
In some ways, I'm not sure of what I'm getting myself into. Unearthing the dead comes across first as sounding downright ghoulish. But that's not it. There's an honoring about to take place. Respect for a life well lived. After countless hours of climbing, we make it to the secret come-out ceremony. The family is already here, waiting for me to arrive. This is not a funeral. It's not even a wake. It's a celebration of life. About halfway up the mountain, and this is where these people live, we're going to do a come-out here. The ceremony is secretive. They don't do it very much in the open because of church influences, but they do like to do it, and it means a lot to them. We're going to take the bones and place them into this here, so that they have a place of honor. The clothing that these Hiwa are wearing is pretty much like wearing their Sunday best, their suit and tie. This is, to them, dressing up, and a time for any time of great importance like this. For these people, this is an extremely important ceremony. Very special, spiritual. This is a family member, after all. So handling the bones takes on great importance. Part of the reason why churches would also have tried to do away with this is because it's just plain sensible that, touching bodies like decomposing cause a lot of disease. I'm not sure what'll happen when we get down further. This grave, it belongs to the father of the man with the shovel in his hand. So this is quite a matter of honor. Go through with the procedure of the come out, bring his bones out and put them in the platform. You can well imagine that some of these kids here have probably never, ever seen this ceremony before, so it's going to be new to them. The man whose father's here, I'm sure, has partaken in a few ceremonies, but for the young ones, this will all be new. So I have no idea what they're thinking. Knowing I've come from so far away, the son of the deceased asked if I myself would also be part of the ceremony by helping to bring up the bones. The dirt all fallen in, so we're getting a little bit of a long process to get down to where the actual bones are. We take our turns at digging the grave. They've only been able to perform this ceremony in secret because of the missionary ban. So this marks a great step towards the Hiwa reclaiming their traditions. It's an honor to be part of that. Perhaps the most important moment, we find the skull, and I help to bring it to the surface. It's an image that brings emotions to the forefront. This ceremony is all about spiritual release. Nothing is taken lightly. It's the most somber I have ever seen the Hiwa people. This simple tradition of honoring the dead by displaying their skulls is why some tribes were mistakenly believed to be cannibals. Jawbone? The Hiwa are careful while exhuming the body because physical contact could result in catching soil-borne diseases like anthrax or cholera.
Rotted white tarp underneath the body, and then just the cloth clothing the body was wrapped in. All rotting, of course. Scorpions in here, grubs, ants, beetles. You know, ants are biting. Just about everything you'd expect to find in a grave if you're gonna dig it out. And this is why the whole concept of getting diseases doing this is it's important to get your head around. They're using leaves to touch everything, they're using the shovel, sticks, but they're not touching anything with their hands. No doubt in the past people have, and probably made themselves sick.
Finally, with the last of the bones, the transfer is complete, and the spirit is free now to travel to the heavens.
Care is taken to get every last bone. And in this case, it's got to be pulled out of his father's clothing. He's wearing a jacket, trousers. You don't see this every day. Small fire going here, and to burn some bananas, probably some meat. Make an offering so that they have successful growth, successful farming, hunting, and good health.
The final ritual in the Camin process is lighting a fire and offering bananas. Bananas are a staple of the Hiwa garden and will continue to grow long after nothing else will. This makes bananas the best food available to send on to the spirit world. This final offering releases the soul of the deceased, freeing him to go on to the afterlife. The spiritual necessity of the Camin, denied for so many years, is finally complete. After making the long trek back to the village, they perform a sing-sing to celebrate my being part of their secret and once forbidden Camin ceremony.
That's the last fading notes of the sing-sing. The sing-sing may go all night long. Sometimes those sing-sings can last up to 2 days long. But that's my time now in Papua New Guinea, in the jungle with the Hiwa. Group of people that really, they're on, I think,
not the brink of extinction, not the edge of disaster, and not, just ahead of their own world vanishing. I think instead they are sitting on the brink of a world that is a perfect combination between the primitive and the new and the modern. They can embrace the future and what's happening, but they're not assimilated into it. And it doesn't happen too fast. No roads coming out here. They can take on progress slowly, on their time and on their terms. So I think that the Hiwa represent hope in the face of so many vanishing worlds. They seem to be on the verge of creating the ideal, progressing slowly, not instantly, so that their world and their culture remains intact, but they embrace the future at the same time. If they keep on this path they're traveling now, they'll be able to successfully take their own culture beyond survival.
Life's been spent trying to wash this stain away. Years have come and gone, confusion stays. He'll just want you, I just need you. Just go on your way. Would not have to cry another day. All you need to do, all you need to do is go now. Just go now. All my life's been spent trying to push this pain away. Discoloration spreads across a weathered page. I'm still bleeding, you're still needing. Must it end this way? You will see fear. Love can't keep away. All you need to do, all you need to do is go now. Just go now. All my life's been spent trying to wash this stain away. I'm still bleeding and you're still needing. Must it end this way? If you stay here, you will find fear. Love can't keep away. Clothes from the floor and go now. Just go now. Just go now. Just go. modern star.